The hearing of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is hereby called to order. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me start by acknowledging the senators who are here today. We have Senator Ralph Recto, Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, Senator Soto, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, the Chairman of the Committee on Banks, Senator Sergius Menya, Senator J.V. Ejercito, Senator Sonny Angara, Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel. Good afternoon, Senators. We'd also like to acknowledge the resource persons who are here today for the Bangko Sentral, representing the Governor, Deputy Governor Nestor Espinilla Jr. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Commissioner Manuel Gaite of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Good afternoon, sir. Representing the Anti-Money Laundering Commission, Attorney Manuel Dook. Good afternoon, sir. Executive Director of the Anti-Money Laundering Council, where are you? Oh, yes. Ms. Julia Bakay Abad. Good afternoon, ma'am. PAGCOR here is represented by its COO and President, Mr. Eugene Manalastas.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. RCBC, Mr. Lorenzo Tan, the President and CEO. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
The Head of the Legal and Regulatory Affairs Group, Maria Cecilia Estavillo. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Branch Manager, RCBC Jupiter Branch, Ms. Naiya Santos de Quito.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Ma'am. PNB President, Attorney Reynaldo Maclang.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. BDO is represented by Attorney Alvin Go and Ms. Rebecca Torres. Good afternoon. PhilRem, Ms. Salud Bautista, the President, and Mr. Michael Bautista. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mr. William Sogo is also here. Yes, good afternoon. And Mr. Kim San Sin Wong is represented by Attorney Victor Fernandez. Are you here? Okay. Soler Resort and Casino is represented by Attorney Silverio Benny Jaitan.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, there you are. Good afternoon. Leisure and Resorts World Corporation, Midas Hotel Casino, represented by Mr. Bienvenido Santiago.
Good afternoon, sir.
The Chairman of Melco Crown Philippines, City of Dreams Casino, represented by Mr. Adrian Au. Yeah, you were here last time. Good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
good afternoon, sir.
And Attorney Jomini Nazareno. Good afternoon. Also with us today is Mr. Alan Peñalosa. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
And Mr. Bansan Choa of IREMIT. Good afternoon, sir. Is there anyone else who is here who has not? And Ma'am Susan Ople, yes. Good afternoon, ma'am. Mr. Antonio Moncupa of East West Banking Corporation. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Now, we will go to, okay, let's begin. Let's just do this administrative matter. Who is here who, for the first time, who has not yet taken their oath? Alan. And Bienvenido Santiago. Mr. Bienvenido Santiago and Mr. Michael Bautista. All those who have not taken their oath yet, please stand up. Yeah, please stand up na lang. Okay, we have Alan Peñalosa, Michael Bautista, Eugene Manalastas, Attorney Victor Fernandez, representing Kim Wong, okay, and Mr. Benvenido Santiago and Attorney Estavillo. Okay, and Emmanuel Gomez, Branch Manager, PNB. Okay, ComSec, please administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation? Please say I do. Thank you. You may take your seats.
Thank you. We'd like to acknowledge the presence, again, welcome again, His Excellency, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of Bangladesh to the Philippines, His Excellency Ambassador John Gomes. Good afternoon, sir. Miss Dequito, Maya Santos Dequito, ma'am. Do you know a certain Jason Go?
Sir, I understand I already requested for the executive session. Everything will be disclosed there, Your Honor.
Mr. Lorenzo Tan,
Yes, Your Honor.
do you know a certain Jason Go, a dealer in expensive cars?
Yes, Your Honor. He's a friend.
You know him.
Yes, sir.
And is it true that Ms. Dequito was supposed to be the manager, designated to be the manager of RCBC, a branch in the Fort area, but upon the recommendation of Mr. Jason Go, she was put in the Jupiter branch. Am I correct?
That is the story I heard, Your Honor. But, I had nothing to do with, choosing the branch for Ms. Nick.
Then who chooses the branch head? And who can answer me then?
Sir, we have retail banking heads, district heads, and area heads that determine who would be the best.
Can you tell me the person who can answer my question that I just asked you?
I think the head of our retail bank, who is in the room, can answer that.
Is he here?
Yes, sir.
Please call him then, so we can have my question answered.
His name is Mr. Raul Tan.
Please administer the oath to Mr. What's the name, please? Raul Tan, ComSec.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tan,
Mr. Tan, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation? Please take your seat. Thank you.
please state your name and your position in RCBC.
I am Raul Victor Tan.
Closer to the mic, please.
I am Raul Victor Tan. I am presently the treasurer of RCBC, and I was formerly the head of retail banking.
Okay. Mr. Tan, is it true that Ms. Maya Santos Diquito was supposed to be a branch manager at the Fort area, but instead, upon the prodding, recommendation, call it whatever, representation of a certain Mr. Jason Go, she was designated as the RCBC Jupiter branch manager?
Yes, Your Honor, except that she was supposed to be assigned, I think, in Beacon branch
Beacon branch.
in the fort. upon the recommendation of Mr. Jason Go to our region head, Bridget Capina.
And who is this Mr. Jason Go that he can cause the designation of a branch manager? He's not part of RCBC, but he seems to be very powerful.
Mr. Senator, I believe he has large businesses which would help in bringing up the business of the branch.
I understand. He's a valued client of the branch.
I cannot disclose that, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, it's clear enough.
Just to follow up on that,
Okay, Senator
Mr.
Recto.
he is not part of RCBC, but he is a valued client.
I cannot disclose that.
Maybe I can. So yes, he's a valued
Ma'am,
client of
please identify
Ano,
yourself.
so sorry, Your
That's all
Honor.
right. Just so that the stenographers will
So sorry.
be able to follow.
My name is Marcel Fernandez Estavillo, and he's a valued client of the bank. I apologize that I answered everybody so uneasy with the violation of bank secrecy, but yes, he is.
Uneasy with the violation of bank secrecy or the name Jason Go?
Not at all the names.
Okay,
sir.
anyway, the
You're
point is
careful.
this.
Yes.
So, he is a valued client. He can make recommendations to the bank. Who sits where? To be branch manager?
Well, I understand his place of business is actually on Jupiter Street as well.
Okay, and if he made the recommendation, who approved it then?
Eventually, it went up to me, and it went up to our executive committee and the board.
So the board approved.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
What else do you know about Mr. Jason Go, Mr. Tan?
I have very little.
I can see Mr. Lorenzo Tan. You want to answer?
Oh,
How come you know Mr. Jason Go, Mr.
I've known him for a long time. Your
Please
Honor.
speak closer to the mic, sir.
Jason is known to a lot of people who live in the Makati area. They buy and sell their cars to him. And, I bought some traded cars from him. So when people want to buy new cars, they trade their old cars. And then they look for buyers for the old cars. So anyone who is, into cars would know Mr. Go. A lot of CEOs of corporations would also know him.
Is it standard in your bank, Mr. Tan, that private individuals, whether they be valued clients or not, but in this case, valued clients, and I suppose you're your valued client if you're a big depositor, can really influence, and apparently they do, they can influence the designation of branch managers.
In the case of Ms. Digito, as I said in the last hearing, we receive resumes all the time, 50 to 100 a year. We pass it on to the business heads, and then the hiring process goes through a vetting process, Your Honor.
Yes, okay, that's fine. But apparently in this case, the vetting process was overridden by a recommendation of an outsider. Okay? That's established already, Mr. Tan.
I don't think that happened here, Your Honor. I mean, we don't do it that way in RCBC. We have a very professional organization. I think in the case of Ms. Digito, the impression was she had a lot of business in East West and she can bring in. And I think she committed to bringing in substantial amounts of business. And I think they have emails to prove that. But,
Okay,
Your
but
Honor,
you just contradicted Mr. Raul Tan, who said that it was upon the recommendation. But at any rate, let's not go into this he said, she said argument. Ms. Nikito, is there anything you want to say here in the hearing, open hearing, about what you know about Jason Go?
Sir, I apologize, but I'll do it in the executive session, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. We'll leave that until Ms. Diquito gives us more information on that later. Are there any developments, new developments? Yes, Ms. Attorney Estavillo. Okay, Marcel.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Yes, we have several developments to report from the last hearing that we had 2 days ago. But at the outset, I hope you will indulge me just to say a few words on some matters that have been raised in the media where people have said that RCBC has hidden behind bank secrecy laws in order to hide a lot of things. When the truth of the matter, Your Honor, is there have been so many lies and half-truths that have been peddled out there, but we labor under the burden and the obligation of not being able to correct them because we are cognizant of our obligations under the bank secrecy law. And the truth is, if we could open all the accounts, we would. Because we are confident that we are an institution, a strong and solid institution that has lasted for over 56 years, sir. We do not coddle criminals, and if there are criminals in our system, we remove them and we prosecute them. That said, Your Honor, I am very happy to tell you, in the last hearing, we had 2 requests for written consent. One from Mr. William Go, and the other I asked from Ms. Salud Bautista for PhilRem, written consent to open her accounts. Just yesterday, I received the written consent from Mr. Go, who denies that the accounts are his, but just for purposes of allowing us to open these details, we do so, and we do so very happily because we would like to open these details and come out with the truth for everyone to know and for the senators to be guided. I hope that Ms. Bautista has with her her waivers, and we would be happy to discuss the details of their accounts. But if she didn't bring, I actually prepared waivers of bank deposits for their accounts. And I would be very happy, and I think everybody would get to see the entire flow once I have this. So, Your Honor.
Senator Smeño?
Would the committee secretary like to pick up and make copies?
Of
Are you submitting that to the committee?
I will submit Mr. William Goss' waiver.
Yes, please. And you will remember I also had a request for a copy of the risk management manual of the RCBC.
I also have, sir,
Thank you.
and the CCTV for February 1, 2016.
Okay, thank you. Please submit them
Thank
to the...
you.
Please, Attorney Fernandez, where is the risk management manual?
It's there, sir. It's in a USB, so I've complied with the 2 requirements. I'm ready, sir, to discuss the William Go accounts and everything related to it. And if Ms. Bautista would be so kind, I would discuss as well their accounts.
Well, let's go to the William Go accounts first because...
All right.
Why?
Just so that I would know how much information I could share.
Okay,
The
Ms.
truth of the
Bautista,
matter is
are
I
you...
really would like to share.
Okay, then let's already resolve this. Ms. Bautista, are you willing to issue a waiver?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay, I think that's clear.
That's very clear, Your Honor. Okay. We thank Mr. Go for the waiver that he sent us, which will allow us to discuss the accounts. There are two accounts of Mr. William Go, and I will discuss also all matters that we learned relative to his accounts from the investigation of Ms. Deguito. We sent Ms. Deguito a show cause letter, and one of the points raised was the falsification of the accounts, alleged falsification of accounts of Mr. Go. Mr. Go has a peso account which was opened in July of 2014, and a dollar account which, while stamped as February 1 opened, was actually opened in our system on February 5, 2016.
Excuse me. So the one that was identified last hearing as being opened on February 1
Yes.
is actually on February
That's
5.
February 5.
But February 5 is also the date when the
Yes.
CCTVs are not working.
Yes, and the day when, based on the reports that we've heard here, when all the funds entered.
Yes, that's when the 81 million entered
Yes.
the RCBC. Okay,
Ms.
go ahead,
Ms.
please.
Deguito explained to us in her letter that she assured us that the accounts of Mr. Go were authentic and belonged to Mr. William Sogo. She said that when she received a call, or she called him and he gave instructions to her to open a dollar account and directed her to transmit funds to certain accounts, which we are not at liberty to discuss. Pursuant to that, Ms. Deguito sent her messenger to a person who signed as William Go the account opening forms, and he went to a place in Burgos Circle. We don't know why. Ms. Deguito would certainly know who is the person there signing the as William Go in Burgos Circle, but that is what she claims. On February 5, a substantial amount of funds entered Mr. William Go's account. $22 million, $22.7 million entered his account. Between 6 to 7 o'clock in the afternoon, 20 million pesos cash was withdrawn from his peso account. And according to the assistant of Ms. Deguito, whom she brought with her from East West Bank as well, her name is Angela Torres, she loaded the 20 million pesos cash in the Lexus SUV of Mr. Go and asked him to sign the withdrawal slip. We have done independent verification and the addresses are false. The signatures we submitted to...
Addresses of whom
the addresses of Mr. William Go
are false?
Are false.
In those two accounts,
in
the
two
dollar
accounts.
and the peso?
Yes.
Okay.
We did an internal verification, and the signatures of his peso and dollar accounts do not seem to match his other signatures in his other account in Trinoma, in our Trinoma branch. And we submitted his signatures in his account opening forms for his peso account, his dollar account, and the withdrawal slip for 20 million pesos, all forms of which were signed in Burgos Circle. And it was made by Truth Verifier System, which is an accredited signature verification company. And for all three, so these are the account opening forms of the peso account, the dollar account, and the withdrawal slip. The findings are, with a high degree of certainty, the questioned signatures allegedly signed by one Mr. William S. Go were not signed by one and the same person and was therefore a result of simulated forgery. So the bank considers that these accounts do not belong to Mr. William Go, who is currently present here. We would also like to say that we have received further information relating to the William Go account. First, the 20 million pesos cash was actually not placed in the car of Mr. William Go, but we have an affidavit of our customer service head that the cash was placed in the car. 20 million pesos cash was placed in the car of Ms. Maya Deguito, and she drove off with it. We also have, on February 9, and I will walk you through to the extent that I can, given the very limited waiver that we have. On February 9, there was a considerable amount of funds that entered Mr. William Go's dollar account. At around 10:59 in the morning, our settlements department sent a request for freeze relating to funds that entered Mr. Go's account. And they were immediately sent to the branch. And this email was opened by the branch manager, Ms. Maya Deguito, and our customer service head. And when the customer service head, who is currently present, and I have his affidavit here, when he approached Ms. Deguito and said, please open your email because there is a request for freeze, Ms. Deguito said, no, I have an approval from Friday, and she showed an email that had nothing to do with the request for freeze. And then she called her assistant, Miss Angela Torres, the lady she brought with her from East West, and she said, let's process. And immediately, the deposits to Mr. Go's account were rushed within a 30-minute window. And during that time, I also have in my affidavit here a statement where our customer service head heard Ms. Deguito say, mabuti nang i-process ko yan kaysa mamatay ako at ang pamilya ko. We also know, based on the affidavit of Mr. Agarado, our customer service head, that on February 12, Ms. Deguito gathered some of her entire branch in the house of one of their reserve officers, Mr. Adrian Yuhico, and our service head expressed concern about everything that was happening. And she said, marami akong lawyers, magagaling lahat sa AMLA, bibigyan ko kayo tigi-tigisa. And then she said, ikaw, magkano yung mawawala sa'yo sa retirement mo? 5 million ba? Bibigay ko yan sa'yo, kaya ba? And the messenger taps the customer service head and says, okay na yon, sir. So these are facts that we have in an affidavit.
Could you repeat, please? What did she say? What did she say to?
She told them when he expressed concern about everything happening. Marami akong abogado para sa inyo. Magagaling lahat sa AMLA, marunong sa mga money laundering. Huwag kayong mag-alala. And then she says, magkano bang mawawala sa retirement mo? May 5 million ba? That she would give it. And the messenger taps our customer service head, okay na yon, sir. So actually, I have the affidavit of Mr. Agarado, who is actually here in person.
May we have copies, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yes, they will submit it.
Okay. We will give it.
Let them finish first. Let them finish so that, and then we can ask questions.
Before I go, I would like to then make a distinction, and I will ask for your indulgence just to finish this distinction as to what a freeze order is and a request for freeze. Your Honor, when our bank receives a freeze order from the Court of Appeals or any court, it is the settlements, it is our head office, actually the legal group under my watch, that sends out that freeze order, and all branches are alerted simultaneously. When we receive a request for freeze, it is of a different legal effect. It is not a freeze order given by a court. So the process is our settlements department sends it to the branch for them to make an independent verification what it is about. And the obligation of the branch is to step on the brakes. Parang hinto muna. Find out what's happening and verify. Because we as a bank do not have a right to immediately say with a request for freeze, okay, we return all the funds. We don't have that right under the law. We can ask the parties to talk, and if the owner of the account says, no, I disagree, then we have no right to keep their funds. And I will give an example. If a supplier sells machinery to someone and there's a payment order to the buyer given to the bank, so the money has already come into the other side, and then biglang mag-away sila, then they'll go to the bank, uy, yung perang yan, ibalik mo sa akin because, you know, I don't like the machinery that was sold. We don't have any rights. We can't do anything. We can only tell them, mag-usap kayo, but if you can't agree, without a freeze order from a court, our hands, we are not very powerful in that sense, Your Honor. So thank you for your indulgence. Those are my developments. I would be happy to take questions.
Okay, you mentioned there is an affidavit by your, is it customer service head?
Yes, sir. He's our customer service
What's his
head.
name?
Romeo Agarado.
Romeo Agarato.
Agarado, sir.
Want to,
Romualdo. I'm so sorry, sir. Romualdo Agarado.
Romualdo. Senator Enrile.
May I ask the lady to repeat about what was about AMLA that was said?
Ms. Deguito said that she has lawyers for everyone in the branch, magagaling sa AMLA, marunong sa AMLA. I'm not insinuating, sir, that they're from the AMLAC. Our AMLAC is a reputable and solid
magagaling
institution.
Sa AMLA.
Magagaling, I guess they know how to answer claims or money laundering
Magaling sa
charges. I can only infer, Your Honor. I can only infer.
Thank you.
You have the affidavit?
Yes, sir, I do.
Please submit it to
Yes,
the
yes, sir.
COMSEC, please.
And we'll give copies to the senators, Your
Yes,
Honor.
please reproduce COMSEC and distribute to the... so he's here, this Romeo Agarado.
Yeah, pinagbibigay ko pero...
Romualdo. Yes, sir. Please come forward. COMSEC, administer the oath.
Sabihan ko pero hindi ko alam kung nagawa eh. I can take it.
Please, administer the oath.
Except for Friday, hindi ko makuha. Okay lang.
Mr. Agarado.
I gave the original to the Senate. One copy. One
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation? Thank you. Please sit down.
Your Honor, before he starts, may I just put on record that I gave an original copy of the affidavit of Mr. Agarado to your committee. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Agarado, please, please state your name and your position at the bank. Press the, so that you press yan. When you see the red light, that means you can talk into it.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I am Romualdo Agarado. I'm currently the Reserve Officer of Makati Area 2 RCBC. That's Bel Air Southeast District. And prior to my assignment as Reserve Officer, I was the Customer Service Head of RCBC Jupiter Branch from March 16, 2015 to February 17, 2016.
Okay. Since may affidavit ka, pakikwento mo na kung anong yung kwento mo tungkol sa mga pangyayari.
Ang natandaan ko lang po, Your Honor, yung February 5, that was the
That was a Friday.
That was the Friday. That was the day when the inward remittance came in. And late in the afternoon, our service SCRO, Angela Torres.
What's an SCRO?
Senior Customer Relationship Officer.
Okay.
She's the parang the assistant of the branch manager on the sales side.
Okay.
She requested 20 million from cash center earlier that afternoon. Then around 5:30 in the afternoon, the armored card arrived from the cash center. So as CSH, bibilangin po namin yung cash. That was 20 million requested from the cash center, Your Honor. Then after that, we transferred, together with Angela Torres, we transferred immediately to the teller, the 20 million. For the teller na doon na dapat siya magkwan, what do you call that?
Go ahead. Take your time. I know you're a bit tense, but it's all right. Kwento mo lang. Kung ano na nangyari, ikwento mo lang.
Your Honor, nasa teller na po that time, nung hapon yung cash na dumating from cash center.
Pesos ito, pesos.
20 million pesos po, Your Honor. All thousands po. So, at the around 6, between 6 to 6, 6:30 to 6:45.
In the afternoon?
In the evening na po.
In the evening, okay.
Bali, the teller, nilagay po sa box, binilang niya ulit, nilagay niya sa box, nilagay po sa room ni branch manager Maya Digito.
Okay.
That time, si BM Maya po, nasa labas po ng branch. I think she was talking to somebody, nasa cellphone. Tapos po, the messenger, Jovi Morales, naghanap po sila ng paper bag. Nilipat po nila yung pera sa paper bag. Then, si Jovi Morales po, nag-load sa kotse ni Manager Maya Digito.
Sino si Joey Morales ulit?
Jovi Morales, the branch messenger of the branch.
Siya nag-load?
Siya po nag-load, assisted by SCRO Angela Torres.
Continue, please.
Kitang-kita ko po kasi nakaupo po ako sa table ko, fronting the main door of the branch. Glass lang po siya, so kitang-kita yung sa labas. Even though it's 6:30 or 6:45 already, yung ilaw po ay maliwanag sa loob ng branch.
So personally nakita mo?
Personally, nakita ko po.
Okay, continue please.
That's it for the February 5 na nangyari po.
Okay. Thereafter,
after that February 5 incident, came February 9, that was Tuesday. That was nung dumating po yung recall of funds around mga 11 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
At that time po, bali, nakareceive po ako ng recall of funds. Hindi naman po ako nakatutok sa Lotus Notes ko most of the time. So, after siguro mga around 10 minutes, nakita ko po yung recall of funds. I went to BM Maya's room and told her na, ma'am, meron pong recall of funds. Tapos, she just look at me like, nakaganon lang po, na parang nakaganon lang, nakatitig lang na sa akin na blankly. So, I went back to my position, to my chair. Tapos, right after dun po noon, may mga series of recall of funds na dumating. Then, by that time, hindi ko po alam na yung accomplished na withdrawal slips and deposit slip po, nandun na po sa teller pala. Kasi parang pinaabot po sa kay SCRO Angela Torres, then si SCRO Angela Torres gave it to the teller to process the transactions.
these are withdrawal slips.
Yeah, withdrawal slips po and deposit slips.
Okay. Who was the signatory in the withdrawal slips? Would you know?
Hindi ko po alam.
Hindi mo nakita?
Yes, hindi ko.
Okay, continue.
Then, right after that po na nangyari, bali, pinatawag po ako ng manager ni Maya Digito and the SCRO Angela Torres sa room niya. And marami po siyang sinabi, pero ang nag-stuck lang po sa mind ko na, sabi niya, I would rather do this than me being killed or my family.
Continue.
Tapos bumalik na lang po ako sa table ko that time, tapos medyo kinabahan po ako sa nangyari, sa sinasabi po niya.
Okay, continue.
And on February 12,
So this one is 9 and then 12. So 10, 11, 12. Okay, go ahead.
February 12, that was the first day na nagkaroon pa ng initial investigation sa branch. Our internal auditors were there. Around mga lunchtime po. Bali, the first one to interview was the SCRO, Angela Torres. Then the second one was Jovi Morales, the messenger. Then BM, Maya Digito. Then I was the last to be interviewed that time. Then around mga 2:30 in the afternoon, kasi dumating po yung auditors siguro mga 1:30, mga ganon. Siguro that time, nagpaalam si Angela na in between interviews, kasi we were setting up the time lock of cash vault kasi may request po yung teller that time. So ang assistant po ni Angela Torres that time is the new accounts. Although officer na po siya, so pwede naman po siya mag-alternate sa kanya. So kaming dalawa po pumasok sa vault. Then all of a sudden, si Angela pumasok din sa vault. And I told Angela, sabi ko, oo nga, no, bakit si Ma'am Maya pala kumuha ng pera that time, 20 million. Sabi niya sa akin, sir, wag mong sabihin yan, malilintikan si ma'am yan. Sabi ko, bakit gano'n? Ba't gano'n hindi magsasabi ng totoo? So that was nangyari po ng February 12 ng mandang hapon. Then on February 12 kasi it was Maya left the branch during the time. No, she was the third one to interview. She was the third to be interviewed that time. So tapos na po siya mga around 6. So she left the branch already. Tapos sa loob po ng branch, yung mga natira po, we left the branch siguro we closed the branch around 9 p.m. And one of the reserve officer, Adrian Yuhiko, he's living in Forbes Park, insisting na pumunta doon sa branch niya kasi sa bahay niya kasi konting kain daw, inuman. Sabi ko, sabi ko kayo na lang kasi I was already stressed that time. Pagod na kasi the whole week. From February 5 to, actually, February 5 to, puro na questions from the head office. Puro queries, lahat. Then, nun nga, yung so na, in short, he was so persistent, so I said yes, okay. So nag-convoy kami, nag-tail kami going to Forbes Park. Then, pagdating sa gate ng Forbes Park, pinastop po kami ni Adrian. Naka-hazard lang kami doon. Right after the gate po, yung malapit na sa bahay nila. Tapos sabi niya, sir, may susundin na ako na friend. So, I asked my companion that time, yung kasama ko rin sa office, si Tin Malbog. Sabi ko, Tin, may alam ka ba na friend na akala ko tayo-tayo lang. Then all of us, after a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, BM's car was tailing already. The Monteros.
When you say BM, what is a BM?
Branch manager Maya Digito.
Miss Digito's car.
Miss Digito's car. It's a Honda Jazz po. So I was surprised kasi nandun po si Ma'am Maya that time. Hindi naman nila sinabi sa akin na tawag dito, pupunta si Ma'am Maya that time. So when we were inside the room of Adrian's house already, so we were complete. Branch manager Maya Digito has all the talking. Nakikinig lang po kami, and isang word yun na nagsastuck din sa mind ko was, she has that she has 4 lawyers, and one of the lawyer is BSP expert or AMLA expert, something like that. And one of the lawyers even suggested to her na kung nagpa-compute na raw ba ako ng retirement ko, something like that. And kung kasya na raw ba yung 5 million sa akin. So that time, na-shock din ako. I was really surprised na yun ang sinabi niya. Kasi nagugulan po ako sa mga nangyayari, pero parang napagtagpi-tagpi ko yung mga nangyayari. Na ganun po ang pan po, Your Honor. Yun lang po.
So how did it end?
From there, wala na po. That was the, March 7, I texted, March 5 rather. March 5, I texted.
No, I mean that night. How did it end? So how did you end it?
We finished we left the Adrian's house siguro mga alauna na madaling araw na. So we ended okay naman, normal naman. Pero upon reaching my house, or I was driving my car, nervous na po ako kasi iniisip ko yung mga nangyari. Yung mga, nagpa-flashback po yung mga nangyari. Yan po, Your Honor.
Okay. Then you mentioned the succeeding date?
On March 5 po, bali I texted Ma'am Maya na I told her, sabi ko, ma'am, nasaan ka ba? Tawag dito, just tell the truth, sabi ko. Tapos sabi niya, she texted back na, sabi niya, I'm not hiding. Sabi niya, parang unless you believe otherwise, parang ganon po ang sinabi niya sa akin. That was the last po na usapan po namin. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Questions?
Yeah, Mr.
Senator
Chairman.
Recto?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Based on the earlier testimony of Attorney Estanillo Marcel, you mentioned, very quick lang, Mr. Chairman, you mentioned that there's a $22 million, $42 million that entered the account of William Go. Is that correct?
The total, sir, that entered this account is about $66 million total, yes.
Okay.
22 of which was February 5, and February 9 was about 42, sir.
22 plus 42, yeah, 66.
Ay, kaya ko yung math.
Okay.
66.
What happened to the 15? Kasi
The
80 dapat
15,
yun eh.
yes, sir. The 15 went to another account.
So, hindi lahat pumasok kay
No,
William
sir.
Go?
There were others, yes. No.
Okay, because during the last testimony, it would have appeared that 81 or 80 went to William Go.
No, sir.
So, hindi, 66 lang.
66, yes.
Could you divulge to the committee where the balance of 15 went?
No, sir. As I said, I would be very happy, as you've seen how open our bank is, to explain what happened. But because of bank secrecy, I cannot discuss that detail.
Okay. So,
though I think, sir, in the previous hearing, there was a discussion as to where the $15 million went.
Okay. Could AMLA let us know? Is it possible for
Yes,
AMLA to let us know?
I'm sure they would be able to, sir.
Yes, Ms. Abad?
Good afternoon, Your Honors. I think during the last hearing, I already mentioned that around 15,215,977.26 US dollars was withdrawn from the account of Vasquez, which was deposited to the account of Philrem, Your Honor.
Okay, so para maliwanag lang, there were 4 accounts in February 5 of RCBC. It would appear 3 of which went into William Go. 66.
Of the, well, I cannot discuss the details as
Yeah.
to the accounts that it came
Yeah.
from, but $66 million went into
to
Mr.
William.
Go's account,
Okay,
yes.
and then 15 coming from the Vasquez account went to the Philrem
Yes, sir.
account. Okay. And then the 66 eventually found its way to the Philrem account.
Found its way to another account, sir, yes. I am unable to discuss, but I believe AMLC would be in a...
No, wala problema yung William Go eh. You already discussed the William Go account.
If I have a waiver, sir, I could clearly, yeah.
Because going to Philrem.
If I have a waiver from Ms. Bautista,
so
I could
William,
discuss
from William
the
Go's
details.
account, a portion went to Philrem and others. So maybe the AMLA could let us know.
AMLAC could say, sir, but from the last hearing, if I'm, well,
Yeah.
Attorney Abad
Yeah,
would be
Attorney Abad,
in a better
maybe I should
position.
address my question to Attorney Abad. Para kompleto yung flow, yung money flow dito. No? Attorney Abad, would you confirm that 52 million went to the Philrem account from the William Go account of 66?
Your Honor, I don't have the total, but I just gave the specific amounts that were withdrawn and eventually transferred to
Ito yung
Philrem accounts.
14.2, 0.5 million, 20 million, 17.986 million. Tama ba yun?
Your Honor, I have here, first on February 5, there was, yes, there was one 14,200,000 US dollars, and there's another $500,000.
And then
And
$20
then-
million in February 9?
On February 9, there was one 20 million US dollars and another 13 million US dollars, Your Honor.
Okay. Was there, from William Go's account, did it enter any other account? Yung balance? Kasi 52 na yung pumunta sa Philrem eh.
At the end of the day, Your Honor, the entire 80.8 million US dollars went to the account of Philrem, Your Honor.
Okay. But in between, was there any other company named Beacon? ABA Currency?
Let me just check my notes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I add something? I forgot to...
Yes, Ms. Estavillo.
I forgot to give, thank you, Your Honor, to give a very important piece of the discussion. When we met with Mr. Go, he brought with him his letter. He sent us a letter demanding us to explain why the accounts were forged. And honestly, when we were reviewing the accounts, we could not understand why he had an old peso account and he had a new dollar account opened on February 5. And we asked him, why do you have a dollar account, sir? Why do you think? And he told us, and this is what I recall from our discussion, sir. No, the dollar account was the new one on February 5. And he said that the reason why that dollar account was opened was because Maya Deguito told him that I believe Philrem required a company from which they would get the dollars from. That's what he told me. So I don't know anything more than that, but just for your records, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, again, will you repeat that last statement?
Marcel,
Attorney
please repeat
The last statement, anong sagot ni
What?
Mr. Go?
Because we don't understand why he had a dollar account opened on February 5. Or why there was a William Go dollar account opened on February 5. And we asked him, and he said that when he asked that same thing to Ms. Maya De Guito, Ms. Maya De Guito told him that PhilRem required a company. And because he is William Go doing business as Century Tex, then that dollar account was required.
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, that's the same account that you said the signatures were forged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, if it's not his account and it's forged, why is he answering na kailangan yun?
Because, Your Honor,
So
the story that he gave in the last hearing was that he met with Ms. De Guito on February 22 or 23, and Ms. De Guito apologized to him for opening the accounts. And they had a discussion, but for our purposes, we asked him, why do you have a dollar account that was just opened? Why do you think that there was a dollar account opened in your name? I have too many people talking here. A dollar account opened in your name on February 5. Why? And that was his explanation that Maya De Guito told him.
Mr. Chair, I'm just pointing out it's inconsistent with the theory that the accounts were forged and it's not his. Because if you called him and said, sa'yo ba yung account, hindi, forged yun,
Yes, Your Honor.
wala siyang dahilan kung bakit inopen.
No, Your Honor. He did not open the account on February 5.
But he was explaining to you why it was open.
He
So
told
knew
us,
about it.
no, Your Honor, he told us that on February 22 or 23, he was first informed about
Okay.
the dollar account that was opened in his name
15 days
on
later.
February 5. So that's,
Clarified.
yes.
Okay.
And when he was talking to Maya De Guito told him that that dollar account was opened on February 5 because PhilRem required a company. And Century Tex, not a company, but doing business as, William Go doing business as Century Tex was the account that was opened, Your Honor. That's what he told us.
The dates are important because
Yes.
if hindi, magkakaiba
So
yung theory.
the dollar account in the name of William Go was opened February 5, and he met and learned of that dollar account for the first time, met with Maya De Guito and learned of that dollar account on February 22 or 23. Thank you, Your Honor.
No, I'm just waiting for the answer.
Yes, Senator Recto had a question. Ms. Julia Bacayabad?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, when we conducted our initial investigation, we stumbled upon entities by the name of ABA, Currency, and Beacon. And it would appear that there was a transfer to the account of ABA Currency in the amount of 13 million on February 9, which eventually was transferred to Beacon on the same day in the amount of 3 million, while the remaining 10 million was remitted to or transferred to PhilRem. Beacon subsequently also remitted or transferred the amount of 3 million on February 11 to PhilRem's account. However, we haven't identified the source of that money that was deposited to ABA Currency and Beacon, Your Honor, because we haven't opened the account of ABA Currency and Beacon. Which I just base this findings on the database that we have at the office, Your Honor.
Thank you. And finally, so what is clear here, there were 4 accounts in RCBC where the 81 million entered. Not all of that went to the William Go account, only 66 of which eventually found its way to PhilRem. And then there is another account of the 4 that did not go through the William Go account and went straight to PhilRem.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so everything went to PhilRem eventually.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I have other questions at the appropriate time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Recto. Senator Soto?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. with the indulgence of the majority leader, he was supposed to make a statement before I did. But I would just like to clarify some points in the affidavit of Mr. Agarado, which I browsed through it, and let me just ask a few questions about it. So you've been customer service head, CSH, we should call it, from March 2015 to?
February 17, 2016, Your Honor.
All right. Who are the other persons working in your Jupiter branch, and what are their designations?
Senior Customer Relationship Officer Angela Torres. She is the assistant of the branch manager on the sales side, because I am on the operations side, Your Honor.
Assistant branch manager ka rin?
No, she has a rank of first officer po.
All right.
Yes, Your.
The branch manager is Miss Maya.
The branch manager is Miss Maya Digito.
Prior to your joining the RCBC branch, did you have any dealings with Miss Digito? Did you know her then?
Not at all, Your Honor.
You did not meet her before. So, she was your boss?
Yes, she was.
All right. What about the other employees in the RCBC branch? Did you know them before joining the branch?
No, Your Honor.
None of them?
None of them too.
The other officers in the RCBC Jupiter branch, did they know each other before the employment in RCBC?
Ang alam ko po, Your Honor, is Angela Torres is from the East West also, and Miss Maya Digito, the branch manager, came from East West also, and the reserve officer Adrian Uwico, also from East West.
So three of them?
Yes, the three of them.
Three of the officers were from East West Bank before joining the RCBC Jupiter branch?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Would you say, well, among the employees in the Jupiter branch, who would you say would be the closest to the branch manager?
It's Angela Torres, Your Honor.
Angela Torres. Yes. Why do you say that?
Because siya po parati yung inuutusan ni Mamaya na mag-transact po. Parang siya po yung kanang kamay parati.
Do you know Mr. Alan Peñalosa?
Yes, I saw him thrice. Yes, Your Honor.
Do you recall him visiting Ms. Digito for social purposes? So, is he also from the East West Bank?
Yes, he is from the East West Bank also. Burgos Circle.
So in your affidavit, you mentioned a 20 million cash withdrawal from the Jupiter branch account of Century Tex Trading, William Go, supposed to be account. Have you seen personally Mr. William Go before today?
Only on TV the other day, Your Honor.
So, if not, isn't it true, Mr. Agarado, that for withdrawals to be made, the withdrawing depositor or the representative has to be present?
Yes, dapat po, Your Honor.
Diba? In fact, it is important that the withdrawal slip is at least signed by the withdrawing depositor. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
But in this particular case, ano po ba? Were they followed? Was there a withdrawal slip? Did Mr. Go there or representative withdraw?
There was never a William Go that went to the branch, Your Honor.
But a representative to withdraw?
Wala din po. But there was a withdrawal slip already, an accomplished withdrawal slip.
Saan galing?
Coming from the branch manager.
So the branch manager had a withdrawal slip?
She gave it to Angela Torres and eventually was posted by remat by the teller, Your Honor.
That is not a regular practice in banks, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So how can you do such an exception?
Your Honor, because the branch manager has the capacity to, like something like the marketing considerations, and that time, may signature affixed na po siya sa withdrawal slip at that time, approved by.
So the branch manager would know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Siya. All right. Perhaps later we will be able to find out from her. And then this delivery of 20 million in Jupiter branch. Delivery, sabi, saan po galing yung pera?
From the Makati Cash Center po namin, sa RCBC din po, Your Honor.
Who called for these monies to be delivered to the branch?
It was the SCRO Angela Torres who called the Makati Cash Center. And it dumating po mga around 5:30 in the afternoon.
Attorney Marcel, do we have an affidavit of Ms. Angela Torres also? No.
You know, Your Honor, we have an affidavit, but we consider it to be a perjured affidavit. Because in her affidavit, she says that she loaded the money, the 20 million pesos, to Mr. Go's SUV. And she made him sign the documents. But because the guard log does not support her affidavit, because Mr. Agarado's affidavit contradicts it, and because our evidence shows it to be false, we intend to file criminal charges of perjury against her.
And that's the reason. You have a copy of
We
the
have a
affidavit,
copy of that. We will file a criminal case
but
against Angela
You will
Torres.
not submit it to us.
No, Your Honor.
All right. So upon delivery, who physically received and signed for the cash, Mr. Agarado?
Upon delivery po ng cash from the Makati Cash Center, it should be the two officers of the branch. It should be checked, it should be counted. So we counted it per bundle,
Who
Your
did?
Honor. Ako po at saka SCRO Angela Torres, Your Honor.
Sino po mga nasa branch nung dineliver yung pera?
Kompleto
Okay.
po kami, Your Honor.
Kompleto
The SP,
kayo?
yes,
Oo.
po, Your Honor.
Before the delivery, did you know that there was a delivery coming?
Yes, kasi it was Angela Torres who called the branch. The branch is just too small and you can hear her talking over the cash center.
So you merely overheard her?
Yeah, I overheard,
They
yes.
did not tell you? Did you know the purpose for the withdrawal of 20 million?
Not at all, Your
For
Honor.
the account of Mr.
Hindi
William?
po sinabi, Your Honor.
So it was counted, you were present during the counting.
Yes, Your Honor.
You said in your affidavit that it was placed in the car of Mr. Digito.
Yes,
Or
Your
Miss Digito instead
Miss
of
Digito,
Mr. Go.
yes.
There was no SUV of Mr. Go.
Wala
You
po.
did not
Her car that time was just parked outside the branch.
Does your CCTV provide for that?
Unfortunately po, Your Honor,
That was the time that
yes.
CCTV is not working. All right. How was the money packaged?
It was packed per plastic po. Naka-pack na po siya. So, that was already counted, machine count from the cash center.
So, hindi nyo na binilang?
Hindi na po. Bundle count na po.
Bundle count?
Yes, Your
I
Honor. Yeah.
see. All right. And then, you said in your affidavit the delivery was done at 5:30?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this the regular practice that at 5:30 you can receive delivery of money? Beyond banking hours?
Yeah, we do have transactions sometimes po that goes beyond the banking hours. That's pag yung may request po si Manager Maya ng cash from...
Pwede yun, pwede. Ginagawa nyo talaga yun.
Yes, it's just a normal transaction for the branch.
So, who arranged for the delivery of the cash and for the pickup of the funds after the office hours? It was the order of the branch manager?
I guess so, Your Honor.
Also, you mentioned that Mr. Gito had All right. This is one statement sticking out. You said she needed to proceed with the transactions. Otherwise, her family would be killed. Parang ganon.
Yes, Your Honor. That was on February 9 po, Your Honor.
What transactions was she referring to?
The deposits to William Go, Your Honor.
Hindi itong 20 million lang. O iba pa?
Pardon, Your Honor?
What transactions? Anong, pag hindi ginawa itong transaction na to, yun lang ba yung 20 million na yun? Or may iba pa?
Sir, I think it's the $44 million that went to Mr. Go's dollar account.
That was what she meant?
Yes.
Anong reaksyon ninyo, Mr. Agarado, nung sabihin niya yun? Death threat yun, ah.
That time po, nagulat lang po ako, na-shock lang po ako sa sinabi ni Manager Maya nung sinabi niya po na I would rather do this than me being killed or my family. Kasi that was the first time po na narinig ko po sa kanya ng ganun. And she seemed nervous din po that time.
Didn't you ask? Ba't di man lang tinanong kung ano yung death threat na yun and who was making it?
Hindi na po, Your Honor. Hindi ko na po natanong siya.
Alright. Also, you made mention of 5 million bribe. Bribe ba yun? Parang ganun, ano? Ha?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright. You said it was done in the house of Mr. Adrian
Yuico.
Are they good friends with Miss Digito?
I believe so kasi galing po sila, si Mr. Yuico po is coming from East-West din before joining RCBC.
Si Mr. Yuico rin?
Yes.
Alright. You had dinner and then Miss Digito suddenly joined talking about lawyers. She didn't mention why she needed lawyers. Meron siyang 4 na lawyers na may expert sa AMLA. Si Senator Gingo na, ang tagal ng pinag-aralan yung AMLA. Ako rin, hindi ko masyado maintindihan eh. Pero meron silang ano, no? Meron silang expert.
Yun po yung nabanggit niya, Your Honor.
Alright. So everyone heard this offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
To you? Lahat nung nandun sa inyo?
Yes, opo.
How about the others? Were they offered?
That time po ako lang nabigyan ng offer. Kasi I think because I was already matanda na sa branch. I was already 25 years.
Oh, so yung iba hindi inofferan?
Wala akong narinig po na offer coming from Maya to other staff.
Are you implying that lahat sila kaalam at ikaw lang hindi?
Hindi ko po alam,
Hindi
Your
naman.
Honor. Hindi ko po alam, Your Honor.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, have you been contacted by Miss Digito or Angela Torres or any?
The last time po na may conversation ako kay Miss Maya Digito was March 5 po, Your Honor. Yung I texted her na just come out and tell the truth. Yun po. Tapos sabi niya, hindi naman daw siya nagtatago. Dyan lang daw siya. So anytime pwede po siya harap po ng kaso niya. And sabi niya, otherwise, parang pag mali po yung pagkaintindi ko sa kanya na parang ganun po, Your Honor.
Alright. Thank you, Mr. Agarado.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I have a series of questions for Phil Rem, Mr. Chair, but I can reserve that for later on. But allow me just 2 questions to Mr. Lorenzo Tan at
Before,
this point.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a suggestion?
Senator Pimentel?
Mr. Agarado mentioned some names here. So question to RCBC if they also investigated these people and required them to prepare affidavits. And if yes, please submit to the committee.
All right, Your Honor. We'll submit the affidavits that we have.
We have CRO Tin, we have Messenger Joby Morales.
Yes, the other
Raymart Marbella.
the other persons mentioned who
Yes.
were present whenever these.
L.A. Escobar.
Yes, Your Honor.
And also that allegedly perjured affidavit, they should
All right.
also submit that to us
All right,
so that
Your
we will
Honor.
have a complete picture.
All right.
Well taken. Ms. Marcel?
Your Honor, we'll do that, but if all right, we will look at the affidavits if there are accounts mentioned, and we will just redact the accounts just so that we don't violate bank secrecy.
All right.
But we'll provide you with a complete set of affidavits, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Senator Soto?
Mr. Chair, with the
Mr. Chair.
indulgence of Senator Tito, just one short point before we leave Agarado.
Okay, then, Senator Angara.
Kasi tinanong ni Senator Soto yung statement about yung mabuti pang palusot ko na tong pera kaysa matay ako. That statement was made in the presence of how many people, ho? And who were the individuals present?
The customer service head, and SCRO Angela Torres, we were sitting in front of the table of Manager Maya Digito, Your Honor.
Before we leave that, I think the committee should call Ms. Angela Torres, Mr. Chairman.
The next hearing, is she here? Is she here?
No, Your Honor, we did not bring her. She willingly volunteered and submitted her perjured affidavit to us. We do not trust her credibility. When we were coming here, I told Mr. Agarado, just say the truth. The truth is your defense. And I cannot say the same that Ms. Torres will be truthful. At least from my experience investigating her.
I think the committee will be the best judge as to who is truthful.
But yes, Your Honor,
Could you produce her at the next hearing?
we will happily produce the entire branch if you wish to get to see them.
All right, then.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Senator Cayetano.
I also have a set of questions sa PhilRem, but so that the flow will be more efficient, I will yield the time first to to Senator Soto, then ask after. But with his indulgence, just to follow up and end with Mr. Agarado. Sir, sabi niyo po na pagtatagpi-tagpi niyo na stress, and I can imagine the situation you were in. No? But is there anything in your manual or in your rules that would have led you to make a call to your superiors, knowing that something fishy was happening already?
That time po, Your Honor, I was just stunned and shocked po. So,
yes, but that's not one day. That's one whole week. May get pa. So like, on the day that she looked at you and sinabi, stop order, she looked. Wala ba sa manual nyo and anything that you have to call na and say to some of your superiors na, sir, ayaw i-stop ni ma'am to, ayaw man lang tignan?
wala po, Your Honor.
Mr. Tan, can you, or Attorney Marcel, can you, kasi we have the manual,
yes,
so we'll
Your Honor.
check.
Actually, there's, if there are orders, he was obliged to report to his immediate superior. He does not report to the branch manager, to the, correct me if I'm wrong, district service head.
And he didn't?
No.
Okay.
So
let me just give him that chance, Mr. Agrat.
Yes.
Why didn't you report it?
Because natakot na po ako sa sarili ko. And
no, but I mean, were you in it? Let me just ask you very frankly, were you in it? At any point in time, inoperang ka ba at kasama ka ba sa...
No, Your Honor.
So, kanino ka takot?
Takot lang po ako sa nangyari po na...
pero kung takot ka kasi sa nangyayari, isusumbong mo sa head. Pero hindi mo sinumbong sa head. So, kanino ka... I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I'm just trying to find out saan nanggaling, nahiya ka sa mga kasama mo kung isusumbong, baka mali ka, or... can you just, that's my final question sa just explain us to the circumstance. Ano na sa isip mo noon na you didn't follow the manual and go to your superior?
That time po, Your Honor, talaga lang po natakot ako at siguro na overcoming ng fears. At si manager kasi po, pag may minsan kasi may mga sinasabi siya na I don't know kung pwede kong iko.
Go ahead. Were you ever threatened also?
Yes. Sample ko lang po. The day when the auditors... Wala po yan. Okay lang. The day when the auditors went to the branch, February 12, I don't know if she take it just jokingly or what. Sinabi po siya na kasi that was supposedly Wednesday, dapat doon na yung auditors, or Thursday. Then Angela Torres told her na, ma'am, wala pa rin yung mga auditors. Ay, hindi, pinambangan ko na doon. Matipong ganun po, yung ganun po yung...
Doon nanggaling ang fear mo, na baka totoo, or baka she's involved.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anyway, may I yield now to our Deputy Minority Leader.
Okay, Senator Soto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Still on RCBC, just one or two, perhaps 2 or 3 questions to Mr. Tan, because you were the one who mentioned during the last hearing about transactions through your SWIFT system. Ano po ba yung SWIFT system? Is that a...
Well, to explain it in layman's terms, it's like our own bank net. So when international banks and central banks transfer funds to other banks, they use the SWIFT system. It's a messaging system. The transfer.
So it's not an acronym. It's not an acronym. It's really the word
It's
SWIFT.
an acronym, but let me
It
let me
is.
get the exact acronym for you.
Yes, please.
Society of...
Wait. I have- It's long. Okay. Society of Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecom. Wait, I have it.
Society of Worldwide Interbank Financial or Financing
Here I have.
Telecommunications.
Okay. Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, or SWIFT.
So this is
If I may read the exact
Yes, please, go ahead.
meaning. It's SWIFT provides a network that enables financial institutions worldwide to send and receive information about financial transactions in a secure, standardized, and reliable environment.
Secured, standardized environment. What does that mean? There is no manual intervention?
Well, when funds enter, sir, it's like your payroll going into your bank account. No? It's a straight-through processing.
All right. Hindi po. I was going to... would you like to continue, sir? Miss Digito. Yes, I will yield, Mr. Chair. I was going to go to...
Just a minute, I want to know the order of questioning.
Sige po. I was going to go to Philrem.
The order of questioning is upon order of arrival is Senator Cayetano, Senator Soto, Senator J.V. Ejercito. At any rate, Mr. Minority Floor Leader, if you wish to ask a question, well, this is what the COMSEC submitted to me.
Yeah. I was here at 12 and then I had lunch.
The minority leader, I think, just wants to ask one more question sa RCBC. Sige, I will yield to RCBC, or to that question to RCBC. Then let me move on to Philrem.
Okay. Senator Enrile.
The branch manager of Jupiter, Maya De Quito. Ms. De Quito, according to the affidavit of Mr. Agarado, you said on February, he said on February 9, 2016, sinabi mo daw, o tinawag mo daw si Mr. Agarado at saka si Angela. Hindi ko alam apelyido dito. Sa opisina mo at sinabi mo, I will quote him. Ang sabi mo, she had to proceed, sabi David niya, with the transaction, otherwise, ikaw at ang pamilya mo ay mamamatay. Bakit? Meron bang threat sa'yo tungkol dito sa transaction na ito?
Your Honor, I deny that statement, but everything I will disclose in the executive session.
Ano yung threat sa'yo? Bakit
I
mo
have
sinabi
no
na-
direct threat.
Sandali lang. Patapusin mo muna
Sorry
ako.
po.
Ha? Ano ba yung threat sa'yo? At sa pamilya mo?
Sir, as I said po, I strongly deny that statement he made.
Mag-Tagalog ka dahil ako hindi marunong ng English.
Hindi po totoo yung sinabi niyang may ganun akong sinabi. And
Hindi totoo yung sinabi niya na sinabi mo na may threat sa'yo?
Yung mamamatay po. Opo. Ipapaliwanag ko na lang po ng buo lahat sa executive session, pero wala po akong sinabing ganun.
Your Honor, may I add something?
Yes.
During our investigation, Tagalogin ko na rin po, habang nag-investigate po kami ng mga officers sa branch, kausap po namin si Angela Torres, yung kasama po niya. At pareho si Angela Torres at si Romy Agarado, sinabi ho nila na sinabi po sa kanila yon ng branch manager. So, hindi lang ho yung affidavit, dalawang tao ho yung nagsabi
Dalawa
sa amin.
kontra sa isa. Okay.
Opo.
So sa iyong istorya ay walang tumakot sa iyo.
I'm sorry, sir.
Sabihin mo lang kung oo o hindi.
Hindi nga po, Your Honor.
Walang nanakot sa iyo.
Wala po, Your Honor.
Wala. Ngayon, ano ba yung transaction? Sinabi mo ba, I'm going through with this transaction dahil kung hindi, mamamatay ako at ang aking pamilya. Ano ba yung transaction na yun?
I apologize, Your Honor, but as I have requested, everything will be disclosed in the executive
Magsalita
session.
ka ng katotohanan dito. Kung hindi, I'll make a motion to hold you in contempt.
Sir, hindi naman po ako tumatangging sumagot. Humihingi lang po ako ng executive session.
Hindi pwedeng executive session, hindi mo sasabihin sa amin kung anong gusto mo. Tanong pa ka rito na magsabi ka ng katotohanan. Mr. Chair, you better warn this witness. Otherwise, I'll make a motion to hold her in contempt and we will detain her here.
Ms. Digito?
Sir, with all due respect, among all the respondents here, ako lang po ang may kaso. I am just invoking my right against self-incrimination and hindi naman po ako tumatangging magsalita. I'm requesting for your consideration also. Sa executive session po, lahat po sasabihin ko.
Bakit nga, anong dahilan nga gusto mo ng executive session? Bakit hindi mo masabi dito yung katotohanan na nalalaman mo? Nanumpa ka na sasabihin mo ang lahat ng katotohanan dito sa pagsusuri na ito.
Your Honor, hindi naman po ako tumatanggi. Hinihingi ko po yung pangunawa niya dahil sa nasabi ko nga po, ako lang po ang may criminal case dito sa lahat ng respondents.
Hindi, patas-patas lang dito. Ikaw pinanggalingan itong gulo na ito eh. Ikaw nakakalam lahat dito. Bakit hihingi ka ng sekreto in chamber na pagsisiwalat nung nalalaman mo? Sabihin mo muna sa amin kung anong dahilan na gusto mo sa executive session. Natatakot ka ba? Tinatakot ka ba? O meron bang makakasunog sa sistema ng banking system natin? Dahil dyan, gusto mo na hindi malalaman ng madla, ganun ba? Hindi pwedeng executive session lang. Sino ka?
Hindi naman po sa ganon. Gaya po ng sabi ko, ako lang nga ho sa lahat ng respondents dito ang may criminal case. So,
meron ng ebidensya dito na yung mga accounts sa branch mo, mga fake, mga forgery. Pagkatapos, hihingi ka ng executive session. Aba, sino linuloko mong mga senador dito?
Kasi may kaso na po ako sa DOJ. Go.
There is already evidence that the accounts are forgeries. And you're asking for an executive session to tell us your truth. You tell the truth here.
Your Honor, I will tell the truth. I just hope you understand na meron nga po akong criminal case before the Department of Justice.
I don't want to argue with the witness. I'm making a motion to hold this witness in contempt.
We will will act on the motion in due time, just so that we can continue with these proceedings. We will act on the motion in due time.
We have to force this witness to answer the charge. There's an affidavit here. Our purpose here is to ferret the truth. Why should we go into it?
Let's give the counsel a few minutes to confer with their client. In the meantime, session suspended for 1 minute. Okay. Let's resume. Settle down, please. Hearing resumed. Senator Soto.
Mr. Chairman, so that we may be able to act on the motion of Senator Enrile for the issuance of a contempt, may I counter it with a suggestion that once and for all, let's listen to what she has to say in an executive session, and then we may act on the contents of the executive session thereafter and act on the motion of Senator Enrile, if the body will approve.
Mr. Chair, the basis of my motion for contempt is the fact that the witness does not want to answer the question that I asked of her in camera. Now, if we're going into an executive session and she answers my question, will that erase my motion? I want to clarify this because I will not withdraw my motion.
No,
it will not, Mr. Senator. It will not.
Now, my next question is, if what we hear in camera is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, are we going to bring it back here and make it as a matter of public record? This is a public investigation involving national interest. It involves our banking system.
The rules provide that if the committee, the majority of the committee so votes that it can be made public, then it can be made
public. If the majority wants to sequester the information, what will be the recourse of the minority in this chamber? I want an answer to these questions. I don't want to go inside and discuss the matter in camera, out of the hearing of the public, and then if we are going to hear something, we'll have to bring it back here.
Senator
So what's
Soto.
the difference between an executive session and for her to be compelled to answer the questions in chambers?
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Soto.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, based on my private conversations with the members of the majority, they are inclined to support that action if necessary, and we may be able to determine that.
So my
once
question
we
is,
hear what she has to say.
well, if she gives us what she's going to say, are we going to ask her to repeat what we heard here in camera?
I don't think so, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. I don't think it will be necessary because that is what she's afraid of at this point. If there are issues that are discussed there, and members of the Senate agree to disclose, or certain issues to be disclosed, not entirely, it will not be credited to her. It will be the parliamentary immunity of the Senate kicks in. So she should not be afraid to disclose whatever.
How are we going to disclose what she says there? Are we going to repeat the transcription of the witness's statement in chambers openly here, or what? So somebody will take an oath and testify on the truth of what was said there when it's going to be narrated in this chamber?
Mr. Chair, pretty much like what we did in the hearing of the 44, sub 44, Sapano incident, wherein we conducted 4 or 5 executive sessions, but the committee decided to disclose the contents of the executive session. We were able to bring it out without necessarily asking General Napeñas or General Purisima to say it themselves, but through questions or through the manifestations of the members of the committee, we were able to bring it out. It was even published in the media.
But that is altogether a different matter because the basis of the executive session is national security. And properly, that is a matter of executive session. But this involves a heist, a syndicated staffer, in fact. And we're going to bring it in chamber and discuss it secretly, and then come back here and we will not disclose it to the public. My God, we will be marked as abetting this kind of system.
Mr. President, if I may, I think the
Senator Recto.
Yes, I think the prudent thing to do right now is to listen to the lady in executive session and decide for ourselves later on the next course of action in caucus with one another.
Well, if I'm only one here, if you let's vote on this on condition that we will bring it back here.
Yes. Of course, yes.
I want a commitment of the majority of the chamber that the matter will be brought back here and we will explain to the public what we discussed inside and what we heard and what was told to us in verbatim.
I so move, Mr. Chairman, that we go into executive session with the caveat that the proposal of Senator Enrile be carried.
Yes, you want to say something?
Yes, Your Honor. I know I don't have a vote, but just to ask if RCBC could be present in the executive session.
Okay, that's another matter.
Mr. Chair, just before we vote on it.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, the rules provide that if the committee believes that an interrogation of a witness in a public hearing might endanger national security, it may motu proprio upon motion of any interested party conduct the inquiry in an executive session. Then the last part of the rule, section 11, says testimony taken or materials presented in executive session or any summary thereof shall not be made to the public in whole or in part unless authorized by the committee. What is the modern-day definition of national security? This includes not only national defense and public order, but it includes food security, security of our financial system. My only problem is we do not know what she's going to say. I don't have a hint of what she's going to say. So if she says something that endangers the banking system, financial institutions, AMLAC, Banco Central, and we commit to reveal it here now, it would be imprudent because we do not want to damage the system. We're not even sure if what she's going to say is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So meaning, Mr. Chair, my opinion is that if it concerns the banking system, it can be included in national security, but the determination of whether or not to reveal it to the public and hear has to come after we listen to her and not before. That's my interpretation of the rules. But I share Senator Enrile's, the minority leader's concern that the only way that we will be able to piece this together is we hear one side and also the other side. And if Ms. De Guito insists of not letting the public know your side, you cannot blame the public for believing the people who's testifying against you, but that's your call. Now, on the contempt matter, Mr. Chair, this is the problem. If she refuses to answer based on a claim of self-incrimination or her right against self-incrimination, it has to be question per question. And if that question it will really incriminate her, then she has the right to do that, and we cannot hold her in contempt. But if it is another question that has nothing to do with self-incrimination. If I ask her name, she has to answer that, no? So for me, Mr. Minority Leader, and to the rest of the group, it's just more of an appeal for us to find a solution to hear one side, no? Just so that we can determine who's telling the truth here. I would prefer that it be here in open, and maybe we can ask her one more time if she's willing to say it, to speak here. But if not, Mr. Chair, I would rather we hear her even in camera and then make that decision later, rather than not to hear her at all.
All right. There is a motion. Senator Recta, will we take that as a motion to go into executive session and hear the
I move, yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that we convene in executive session to hear the testimony of the witness.
Subject to the conditions requested by or expressed by the minority.
As discussed earlier, Minority Leader, that that we first hear the testimony of the witness, then we have a caucus during executive session whether or not there is national security involved and whether or not we should divulge to the public what was discussed in executive session.
Well, we are all matured people and responsible people. We know what is national security, what will wreck our system. Now, I go along with you in preventing any damage to our system, whatever that system is. But we cannot withhold information to the public. Okay?
Yes, we all agree, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
All right. So I don't suppose there's anyone else who will object that we go into executive session subject to the conditions of the minority floor leader.
May we ask the other resource persons to remain while we are in executive session? Your meeting will not be adjourned.
Clarify. We are dealing here with the interest of one of the nations of this planet. And there must be a reciprocal responsibility on this matter. If we reverse the situation and we are involved and we are in Bangladesh asking for the help of Bangladesh, then they'll probably do their effort to protect us too. And we must do the same for them here. That is the external content of this issue. Okay. Now,
Okay. The remarks
I don't want
are...
the Bangladeshi people to say that the Filipinos go into a secret chamber discussion of the national matter and then nothing happens.
Yes, the comments are well taken, and in fact, I have received a request that His Excellency, the Bangladeshi ambassador, be present at the executive session. We will accede to the request.
May RCBC also attend, Your Honor?
Okay. Committee. Most of the committee members do not agree, therefore we cannot make you... Can we...
Only fair because they're the other side of the
Okay,
matter.
if that's the case, then let's take a vote on it.
I will
Can you
vote in
please
favor of
return-
RCBC being present.
Your Honor, if I may just explain
Just-
why.
Okay, before we take a vote on it, since there are opposing views and therefore we're a committee, we have to take a vote to decide on issues.
Yes.
Let's hear your side, ma'am.
Your Honor, we have been very transparent, we have been very cooperative, and we have given nothing but the truth. And if there's any lie that's being peddled, please allow our institution to be present so that we can, if it's a truth, so that we can use it in the investigations that will go on in our institution and that are going on. And if it's a lie, that we will know how to defend ourselves, because it's not fair that a financial institution as big and as solid as RCBC will have one branch manager meeting in executive session saying stories which we have no idea if they are false or not.
Mr. Chair, just one input.
Senator Cayetano.
The reason why we have only one party in the executive session is because the senators and the staff is bound by the rules of the Senate. and our oath as public officials. So if we release it to the public, we can discipline our members. And if the person testifying releases it, that's their choice because they're the ones in the executive session anyway. But if we have the other side, and the other side releases the information, magtuturuan eh. So what we did in the past, Mr. Chair, is that after one party, we asked them to leave, we called the other party also in executive session and asked them questions based on what they said so that you're also informed. So for example, in the SAF 44, no, we did not, I will not name names because that's, we cannot, well, it's in the committee report already, but what we did, we called first the one side, and then the other, and then the other. But hindi po talaga sabay-sabay, no?
Your Honor, so His Excellency the Bangladeshi ambassador cannot attend also?
Well, it's not, since they're the group who are claiming that their money was stolen, it wouldn't be in their interest to speak to the media or to come out with, you know, with the what was talked about there. So they're actually the party who's running after the money.
Yes, Your Honor.
And they don't really care about the sides here. They
No.
really just care about the truth and getting it. No?
And Your Honor, we are
Yes.
just worried that if they listen to only one side in camera with
Yes.
no possible opportunity for us to give some balance or truth to it,
Yes.
that they may believe that the version being
If I may
peddled is the
suggest
truth,
that
Your
after
Honor.
them, and if His Excellency would permit, then we will have you, Mr. Chair, and then we can ask your questions to you, or we can ask it here, assuming that we agree that
Your,
this,
Your Honor, even in executive session, we would be bound by bank secrecy. We cannot discuss details.
But she might not be talking about some things about bank
Yes. No,
secrecy,
yes.
assuming this is a scam. But anyway,
Yes.
I'm
At
just
any
saying
rate-
the history, Mr. Chair. So
Yes, at
I
any
leave the
rate-
decision to you and to our colleagues.
No, at any rate, it's going to be a committee decision. So, Mr. Minority Floor Leader, did you make a motion that we include the RCBC?
That's we have to be fair in this matter.
All right.
They have a version and she has a version.
All right.
She said that she was never threatened.
Mr. Chair, one question then. The witness, Ms. Deguito, agreed to tell all, regardless of bank secrecy, in camera. Can we get the same commitment if we let you in?
Your Honor, we cannot give,
See, that's-
violate bank secrecy, but I have to say, Ms. Deguito has heard our entire
Yes, but
story.
that's the problem,
and
ma'am.
she can calibrate the
Yes, ma'am,
truth.
but that's a problem, no? That's why you call for a executive session para comfortable yung witness.
Yes, Your
and they
Honor.
can tell that walang intimidation or anything. And you're opposite sides. Now, if she's going to commit to tell all there, and you say that these are your legal limitations,
No,
you know.
I was not intending to remind her of her own legal obligations, but we
yes, but
cannot
if she says something, then we ask you, then you answer us in camera that that you are bound by bank secret. We get nothing out of it.
we defer, Your Honor, but
Yes.
we
Yeah,
really...
anyway, I'll just put that on record. I understand your position, and
Yes.
it's
Ma-
what you're asking for is correct. I'm just putting on
Yes, we
record that
defer, Your Honor.
that's the reason why we have this in camera. And remember, it will not affect you in terms of any legal rights because we are here in aid of legislation.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we will not come out with a decision that, you know, to penalize the bank or this or that. No, but anyway, Mr. Chair, I think all sides have been
Chair.
explained.
Mr. Senator Enrile?
Chair, I think I would suggest that we bring a representative of RCBC in chamber without asking her any question, to listen so that they will know what this witness will be telling, and they will check it in the records if it's true.
Is there any objection to the suggestion of Senator Enrile among the
As-
members of the committee?
Mr. Chair, as long as they are just there to listen,
Yes.
only one representative, and they are bound by the rules of the executive session.
I
when we-
promise, Your
when-
Honor,
when-
not to talk.
Wait.
When we come back-
Let's not talk out of turn.
Chamber, then we can ask RCBC whether what we heard conforms with their procedure.
Mr. Chair, I register my objection just because it will set a precedent. From now on, if we do that, all sides will ask to be all there, and sometimes there are 4, 5, 6 sides to a story, So I'll just register. If the majority wants him there, I will not object, but I put no
Permitted
object.
to represent the position of the minority here. Now, this will not constitute a precedent. We can say that this is a special case. This is the first time that we have this kind of a situation.
Mr. Chairman, can we just take a vote on the matter?
Yes, it seems that all sides have been heard. Now the issue is we have already agreed on an executive session. The issue now is whether we allow RCBC, who is requesting to be present at the executive session. So all those in favor of RCBC being present, please raise your hand. 2. Okay, those against, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. What's your vote, sir? 4. 5. Okay. 6. Okay then. So I think it's clear that
Mr. Chairman, maybe we can call RCBC after, and we can show them if there are any questions for them that they can clarify. We can do that in the interest of fairness.
okay, but I'm also including Ms. Julia Bakay Abad representing the AMLC, and if they wish the central bank to be present as observers.
Mr. Chair, sorry. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, who is speaking?
Mr. Chair.
Oh.
Just to clarify, I'm in favor pala of RSP.
Okay, it seems that the committee also does not want the AMLA present. Therefore,
Your
Ms.
Honor,
Abad,
please.
you want to say something?
If there's any government agency that is primarily responsible in investigating this whole thing, it is the AMLC. And if there's any government agency from which the Bangladesh government has sought assistance, it is the AMLC. So I think we deserve to know the truth. We deserve to hear all sides. So I promise, I commit, Your Honor, that I will just sit there and listen to what Ms. Digito will say. I will not ask any question or make any comment, Your Honor.
All right. So as to save time, we'll just decide this inside. If we decide otherwise, we will call you then. Okay? So we will go into executive session. Ms. Digito and your counsel and His Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, you're invited to come in. In the meantime, this hearing is hereby suspended. Session resumed. Senator Enrile.
Well, Mr. Chairman, after hearing the lady manager of the Jupiter branch of RCBC, I reiterate my original motion that she must answer questions in camera. There is no threat to her according to her, from anybody, not from the bank, not from anyone. He only spoke about certain relations, and there's nothing incriminatory as far as I can see that should inhibit her from being compelled to testify here. And so therefore, I will reiterate my motion that I'm more interested in protecting the institution, our institution, than anybody else. So we have to compel her to speak publicly.
So the motion is to compel the Ms. Santos to
state what she stated to us in executive session.
Okay, Ms. Santos, you heard the motion. Will you be willing to testify? Say what you said in executive session. Repeat it here.
Sir, I would like to apologize, but I would like to invoke my right for against self-incrimination because I have mentioned many times that I'm the only respondent here who has a pending case from AMLs.
Okay. Since Ms. Santos does not want to speak and there is a motion to compel her to speak, we will vote on the motion. Those in favor...
Mr. Chairman, just one matter.
Yes,
before we
Senator
vote on the
Recto.
motion. The witness has already testified in executive session. There are records in the executive session. There are stenographic notes.
Yes, there
in
are.
the executive session. Maybe it will be not unreasonable that maybe we should be voting on whether or not we release what we discussed in executive session publicly, but to ask the witness to repeat everything.
Well, that has to be addressed to Senator Enrile since he's the author of the motion.
Maybe the motion should be...
She was never placed under oath in the executive session. She was placed under oath in this public hearing. So how can we now hold her for anything she said there? She must state the things that she said there under oath here in order that it will be covered by her oath to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, doesn't it follow that when she took her oath in the committee, it is the same committee who discussed with her in executive session and that the oath continues in executive session?
I do not know about that, but there was no one said anything about putting her under oath while we were in executive session. That's a different session altogether from this public session that we're having.
I see, Attorney Topacio, you want to speak on the matter.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors, thank you. We are willing to acknowledge and concede that what she said in executive session is in continuation of her oath taken in public session. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Your Honors.
But are you willing to, in accordance with the wishes of Senator Enrile, are you willing to repeat everything here in open session?
On behalf of my client, with all due respect to the Honorable Senator Enrile, whom I deeply admire, I believe that it would violate her right against self-incrimination and to remain silent considering the pendency of a criminal investigation. But we are willing to have the committee release those portions of the executive session if it pleases the august body insofar as it will not violate those rights, Your Honors. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, the rule is that invocation of the privilege of not being incriminated must be addressed to the witness per question. It cannot be granted in a general approval, no? If we're going to propound the question to the witness, it's up to the counsel to advise his client not to answer because it will incriminate her. But for us to admit that everything she said there is subject to that privilege is, I think, unacceptable.
Senator Pimentel?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman. That is why if the motion will be pursued, I will have to vote in the negative because of a procedural reason. The proper procedure would be for the question to be asked, and if the witness refuses invoking the said right, we ask the witness to justify the invocation of the right. And if we are not convinced, then it's time to sanction the witness. So if we could proceed in the proper manner, then nothing stops any senator from asking a question directed at Ms. Dieguito and forcing her to answer. And then it will be the body which will decide whether the invocation is correct or proper. Per question, that's correct.
Yes, per question. Attorney Topacio, since you know already, please advise your client what's going to happen.
Yes, Your Honors, Mr. Chairman, she has been apprised of the situation. Thank you.
And we are of the, just would like to confirm, you're willing to have the transcripts released?
Yes, Your Honors, Mr. Chairman, redacting those which we leave to the sound judgment of the Honorable Committee to be self-incriminatory, Your Honors. For the record, Your Honors, she is charged with violating Section 4A of the Anti-Money Laundering Act. So we will judiciously invoke the right against self-incrimination only with respect to those to that charge against her, Your Honors. We will not abuse the privilege. We assure this honorable committee. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we can push. Senator Recto.
Just one last query, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Abad of the AMLA, if that's possible, with regard to the cases filed against the witness.
Yes. Please proceed.
Yes. Ms. Abad, who else have you filed anti-money laundering against with regard to this case? Only one respondent?
No, with regard to this case, Your Honor, we filed a criminal complaint against the 4 account holders and Ms. Digito, Your Honor.
So the 4 account holders who are fictitious persons?
Yes, which
So
appear to be fictitious.
in effect, only one person?
Well, we implemented John Doe's, a.k.a.
Yes,
the 4 names. So
No cases have been filed with representatives of PhilRem?
No case yet.
No cases have been filed with anyone with RCBC?
No case yet, except the branch manager, Your Honor.
So only one?
Well, that is without prejudice to the final outcome of our investigation,
Yes,
because our
yes.
investigation is still ongoing, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Yes. What is the final penalty as far as that section mentioned earlier?
Your
What is the
Honor,
penalty?
let me just correct that the charge against Ms. Digito is violation of Section 4F of Republic Act 9160 and not 4A, Your Honor.
What is 4F and what is the penalty?
For violation of Section 4F, the penalty would be between, I think, 4 years to 7 years imprisonment, Your Honor.
And 4A would be?
From 7 years to 14 years imprisonment, Your Honor. When I say Section 4F, that pertains to facilitating money laundering, Your Honor.
Facilitating.
Yes, Your Honor.
So only one, ha? Siya lang. Bakit inuna siya?
Well, because based on our initial investigation, it was already established that Ms. Digito, as branch manager, allowed the opening of these 4 accounts without verifying the true identity of the account holders who supposedly opened accounts.
Okay.
So there was failure to perform an act on her part, and under the law, failure to perform an act which effectively facilitated the commission of the money laundering is also an act of money laundering, Your Honor, and punishable as money laundering, Your Honor.
Okay,
And then she also, if I may add, Your Honor, it was also established that the bank on February 8, 2016 received a stop payment request from the Bangladesh bank, and despite such receipt, the branch manager allowed the transactions.
Yeah, okay, just to follow up on that, since you mentioned that, Ms. Julia Abad, no? There were other resources in the bank that she had nothing to do with it anymore, that was still with the bank in February 10 and 11. Bakit di naman kinasuhan other members of the bank kung sakali?
As I've said, Your Honor, our investigation is still ongoing. We are still, based on the evidence that we are able to gather, we are identifying who else are responsible for any act that would constitute money laundering, Your Honor. We haven't completed our investigation, but based on our initial investigation, it already became clear that Ms. Digito has committed acts that constitute violation of Section 4F of RA 9160, Your Honor.
Yeah, but we do also have information in the Senate with regard to certain money still in the bank after February 8, not in the branch.
Paki nga pare.
Di ba? Was paid, still paid out after, and no one is accountable there. I'm sure you have that information. So the question is, bakit parang selective din na siya lang ang kinasuhan naman? And why was it done before the hearing of the Senate?
With due respect,
Just to put that in record, on the
Yes,
record
Your
as well.
Honor.
Yes, yeah.
With due respect, I take exception to that statement that our investigation and the prosecution is selective, Your Honor.
No, sir, is that it would appear, na siya lang kasi.
Yeah, as I have mentioned earlier during the first hearing, Your Honor, when we speak of money laundering, one of the elements of money laundering is knowledge. It has to be shown or proved or established that the person committing money laundering is aware or has knowledge or should have known that the money being transacted came from an unlawful activity. And so far, based on the evidence that we have gathered, it would appear that Ms. De Guito has become aware that the money being transacted came from stolen funds from the Bangladesh bank. As to other persons through which the money were transacted, we haven't established yet that element of the crime, the knowledge. So, based on other circumstances, we have to establish the
Based on that
culture.
statement,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, didn't the bank know that the SWIFT order or the stop payment order also came to the bank even before it went to Ms. De Giros?
You mean the other officials of the bank, Your Honor?
Yes?
To
Na may
be
stop payment na rin.
yes, Your Honor. But based on our information, well, we were informed that the transactions were elevated to some officials. But as to who these officials are, we have not yet established, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Enrile, I believe you would like to ask questions.
Ms. May De Quito, will you please tell the committee how the accounts were created in your branch that led to this incident involving the money of the People's Republic of Bangladesh?
Self-incrimination, yeah. Right against self-incrimination.
I'm just asking you how it happened, how it was done. I'm not asking about the amounts.
It was all referred accounts, Your Honor.
Referred accounts.
ANF. Mag-apply yan sa ANF. Ingat ka sa pagsasabi.
Referred. Who referred them?
Who referred them? Who? Sino ang nag-refer?
Okay, go.
Kim Wong.
Who is Kim Wong?
Kim Wong is a friend of the president of the bank.
Why do you say referred them? Why did a certain Kim Wong refer them to you?
Now the question is, why did Kim Wong refer them to you?
He wanted to help me on the marketing budget for the branch.
How long did you know this Kim Wong?
For about 6 years, Your Honor.
8 years.
6 years, Your Honor.
When did you first know him?
I met him during my export bank days. That was 2009.
When was that? When was that, more or less?
That was 2009, Your Honor. That was 2009.
2009. In what connection did you meet him there?
Through friends.
He was dealing with you as a client?
Through client friends po.
Huh?
Through client friends, Your Honor.
Will you describe how you were introduced to this Mr. Kim Wong
Let me
in
repeat.
2009?
Since it seems you cannot hear, would you describe how you met this Kim Wong since 2009?
In 2009.
In 2009.
Through common client friends po.
Common client friends.
Who is this common client friend?
Sino yung mga common client friends?
You have mentioned about Jason Go early on. I met him through there, but kasi he's buying cars from Jason.
I'm sorry, I did not understand anything. Just, please speak a little bit clearer, no?
Your Honor, I met him through Jason Go. Jason Go has been helping me in acquiring new clients for wherever bank I am assigned.
And who was that person that introduced you, Kim Wong, to you?
Jason Go.
Huh?
Sino nang pakilala?
Jason Go. Is Jason Go your client in Export Bank?
Yes, sir.
And after you were introduced to Mr. Kim Wong, whoever he is, did Mr. Kim Wong become your client?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Did Mr. Kim Wong become your client when after he was introduced to you by Mr. Jason Go?
Yes, Your Honor.
He became a depositor of Export Bank?
No, Your Honor. In another bank.
In what bank?
East West Bank po.
How long after you were introduced to him in 2009, did he become your client in East West Bank?
Shortly after 2 years. After 2 years, Your Honor.
After 2 years. Oh. And in between, did you meet Mr. Kim Wong at all? Between the time that he was first introduced to you and at that point when he became your client?
Kung nakilala mo si Kim Wong from the time that he was introduced to you in 2009 until naging kliyente mo sa East West Bank.
Yes, Your Honor.
You met him and you became became associated socially with him. Is that correct?
I cannot say socially associated, but since I've met him several times already, and
I will ask. I'll put it this way: when he came to you in the East West Bank, did he pop up and say, "I want to open an account," or did anybody ask him to bank with you in East
No.
West Bank?
Your Honor, I did. I asked him to open an account to help me in my...
You asked him. So, at that point, you were quite familiar with him already.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, you knew him very well from that point on.
Not very well, but yes, I know him.
And in connection with this opening of accounts in RCBC, who dealt with you? Kim Wong.
I'm sorry?
Who dealt with, in connection with the accounts opened in RCBC that paved the way for this
Self-incrimination na yan. Self-incrimination.
incident where money of Bangladesh was brought in and then it disappeared.
Fight against self-incrimination na yan.
It was Kim Wong who referred the people who opened the account in your branch.
I apologize, Your Honor, but your line of question, I think, will be leading to the case filed against me. So
No,
I
I'm
would
just
like
asking,
to.
you said a while ago the people were referred clients, and I asked you who referred them to you, Kim Wong. So it was Kim Wong who brought this
Self-incrimination. You're justified.
people to you to open an account.
Your Honor, can I confer with my legal
Yes.
on that?
Mr. Chairman, may I briefly say something? Just to clear up a confusion with the AMLAC.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the information we got was that our client has been charged for violation of Section 4, Paragraph A of the Anti-Money Laundering Act. But now, Attorney Abad from AMLAC is saying that she is charged with Paragraph F, which is facilitating. Paragraph A is transacting in a monetary instrument. F is facilitation. Your Honors, since she's being charged with facilitation, we believe that answering that question would lead her to incriminate herself with respect to Section 4F of
Well,
AMLA.
at any rate, okay,
Your
at any
Honors.
rate, please let your client answer that if she wants to invoke anything.
You're invoking your right against self-incrimination.
Your Honor, I invoke my right against self-incrimination.
And then how many accounts were opened in RCBC? Because of the reference done by Kim Wong. I'm just asking how many.
Intervention ni Kim Wong kasi.
Sir, those are leading to the how the accounts were opened already, and I would like to invoke my right against self-incrimination. Anyway, I have mentioned already the referrer of the accounts. I think.
Well, I'm just asking how many people. You mentioned 5 accounts to us. Now, Picache, La Grossa, Cruz, and what's the other one? Vergara. And Vasquez. Huh? Can you tell us how they opened the account? Did they appear to you?
Sir, that's Your Honor, that's
You're
that's
invoking.
that's facilitation. So I would like to invoke my right against self-incrimination.
So
I hope you understand.
You're going to invoke your right of self-incrimination against self-incrimination. Is that correct? You're now invoking it all the way through.
With respect to the accounts.
With respect to the accounts, Your Honor.
On this line of questioning.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Now, I will ask Mr. Lorenzo Tando. Mr. Tan, do you have any association with Mr. Kim Wong?
Well, Your Honor, it seems she knows him better. I mean,
No, I'm just asking you if you had...
I have no business...
no business, but
no.
personal.
Well, I met him in 2002 when he was a restaurant owner. I didn't see him for, I think, 12 or 14 years.
And with Mr. Jason Go.
Jason, I know. I mean, he's a car
I
dealer.
understand you have a Thursday club.
No, I'm not part of a Thursday club, sir. I mean, I only attend baptisms, birthdays.
That is what I heard from somebody a while ago, that you have a Thursday club composed of yourself, Jason Go, who else? And Mr. Kim Wong, and that you meet often.
Not true, Your Honor. I mean,
Not true.
No. As you know, I'm CEO of a universal bank, and I also was president of the BAP for 3 years. So I had a lot of dinner appointments and, lunches. So probably I saw Jason 2 to 6 times a month, only when I'm free for lunch. I don't invite them to my house for dinner. They don't invite me to their house. So it's not that. Maybe I'm not part of that Thursday club, Your Honor.
You're not a part of the Thursday club. So, is Mr. Raul Tan here?
Yes.
Will you come to the... What is your position in the bank again, Mr. Tan?
I'm presently the treasurer of RCBC, sir.
Who is the one in charge of your settlement division?
I believe it is Mr. Beng Eco. Beng Eco.
Now, when the money in question arrived in your bank on February 5, did you know about it?
With all due respect, we cannot speak on that as we are covered by bank secrecy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, can I rephrase the question? Hypothetically, when there's an inward remittance for certain accounts, does it go straight to the account of a branch, or does it pass through, let's say, the head office, the treasury, or a settlement account, or any of the two?
Your Honor, it goes straight. It's not physical cash that's brought to our head office and then brought to the branch. It's a straight-through processing.
It's a straight-through processing.
There's a virtual branch in our head office, so it goes to the branch. It goes straight to the account.
It goes straight to the account.
To the account, yes.
There is no human intervention.
None.
No human intervention.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question, if I may? On that.
Senator,
just if I may finish, no? Is that the practice in all banks or just in RCBC?
I believe so, sir, in all banks.
Could we confirm with, let's say, East West Bank, President Moncopa?
Your Honor, I think each bank could probably have a different approach. The central bank will give us guidelines, but how we execute will not necessarily be the same. Like,
so there will be different
protocols. There will be different. Like in the specific case of East West Bank, any large remittance goes first in the what you call the settlement section in the operations department, where there would be some oversight, some compliance checking if it's worth checking. And then before it goes,
so in your case, there is
a gatekeeper. There's a gatekeeper when it comes. There's another gatekeeper when it comes to the branch.
Okay.
Like in our case, the sales function and the operations function are separate. So we do not give the salesperson the authority to decide to credit or not to credit. It is the control person, the operations person, who has the absolute decision to do that. So that's another checkpoint.
No,
it's possible that when you have small payment, you could actually distinguish. That could go straight through.
But kung $81 million, in your practice at East West Bank, will it go straight through?
Each bank would have their own threshold of what is substantial and what is normal course that you could let go through. I'd say that in our case, 10 million will be considered to be a substantial amount.
Well,
dollars.
May I?
Mr. Senator, Your Honor.
My colleague. you do not consider, you consider 81 million substantial.
Yes, Your Honor.
$10 million dollars substantial.
But anything above that is substantial.
And that was known by the lady RCBC branch manager because she was trained in your bank first before she transferred to RCBC.
We cannot speak for other bank, Your Honor.
No, but well, I'm sure that that culture, banking culture, must have been grilled on the head of my Dequito when she was in East West Bank.
Your Honor, if I may please, remember that Maya Dequito spent less than 2 years in East West and more than 3 years in RCBC. The way she does business now, I think East West has got nothing to do with that. I'm not disowning her, but I'm saying each bank would have its own procedure, but 3 years is a long time for somebody to, you know, to adapt to the culture of a bank.
Because I heard her say that it's ordinary for her to be transacting that quantum of dollars because she's used to dealing with billions of pesos transactions.
Well, again, Your Honor, I could only speak for my bank, and you know, we are a universal bank, but you know, we consider 10 million to be substantial.
Yeah. CBC, what volume of money would you consider substantial and unusual?
Your Honor, let me expound first on what Attorney Marcel mentioned about the straight-through processing. No?
Mm-hmm.
The straight-through processing actually involves certain validations before they are actually credited to an account. And basically, it checks the account name, the account number, whether the remittance is actually funded, whether there is a valid sender, whether the reason for the remittance is valid, before these are actually credited to an account. So there is a validation process. Any failure in those 5 elements will not allow a credit to an account, and these are automated in the system.
I come back to my question. Is it true that branch manager Dequito was used to dealing, from your knowledge as a member of RCBC, dealing in billions of transactions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
What threshold would you consider substantial in your banking practice in RCBC?
Well, as I mentioned, the remittance actually are the remittances actually go through a straight-through processing, given the 5 elements of validation. I cannot actually speak of the specific remittance at this point, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
One last. Okay, go ahead.
Just on that point. So you don't have a threshold like East West Bank of $10 million, then it will go to a gatekeeper who will check and validate the transaction.
What we have is, at end of day, after the remittance, there are thresholds internally. And if those thresholds are breached, then our settlements department gives a call to the branch to find out, what is this about? Is this an amount that you're expecting for this account? If the branch validates and says, oh yes, then that pulls through, that lifts the hold.
To your knowledge, attorney, since you're speaking for RCBC, was a phone call made from the settlements division to branch manager Dequito?
You know, Your Honor, I would like to answer, but I cannot, because we cannot speak of the specific accounts covered by bank secrecy.
But this is a regular process of, is this a regular process of RCBC?
It's a regular process that at end of day, the settlements department reviews all the remittances.
Let me ask Branch Manager Diquito, did anyone from settlements call you at the end of day to check on this transaction? On February 5? RCBC is saying that because of the huge transaction size, it is the protocol that the settlements division called the branch manager to verify if this is a valid transaction. Did anyone from settlements call you on February 5?
There's no one who called. Instead, I got an email saying that that is a valid remittance.
Your Honor, if I may, the settlements department would normally not call directly to the branch manager. There are lines involved. And in cases where it's stated that it's a valid remittance, what they're actually saying would be that the numbers match. The 5 points that are validated in our electronic system have actually...
So in the case of these transactions, they passed the validation of RCBC initially on February 5.
I cannot speak about the specific transactions because of bank secrecy, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, just one last. When the branch received the email regarding the fraudulent transaction, they received an email on February 9. Is that email only seen by the branch manager, or is that email seen across the system of RCBC?
As a rule, the request for freeze is seen by 3 officers in the branch.
Could they have stopped the transaction at their level, or that transaction can only be stopped at the branch level?
As I mentioned earlier, and I will go a little procedural, if it's a freeze order from a court, then the head office, legal department under me, will send out that freeze, and all branches are alerted. If it's a request for freeze, which is not a court order mandating a freeze, then the branch is advised of it, and the branch is supposed to step on the brakes and allow the parties to confer.
To settle.
Because that doesn't give the bank the same rights as a freeze order mandated by a court.
So it is your position that the email that you received was only a request for freeze?
It was a request.
And not a freeze order?
There is a distinction, and I believe there are records already in the public. I do not read anything in the news or in the public that says that it was a court-mandated freeze order.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Enrile.
May I ask the RCBC people, are your branch managers authorized to open accounts with zero balance?
If it's linked. Only in cases, Your Honor, where the account is linked to another account which has the minimum balance.
Pwede.
Only in case, so there has to be another account with a minimum balance of the same account holder, Your Honor.
Now, next question. Are your branch managers authorized to open dollar accounts at a minimum deposit of $500 and remain dormant for some time?
I believe the dormant period is 2 years. Your Honor, the dormant period in our bank is, under our policies, is 2 years. The minimum balance is $500.
Okay. Now, my last question. Are branch managers or your branches authorized to allow the withdrawal of money from their deposit accounts in the branch through pre-signed withdrawal slips presented by a messenger?
No. Your Honor, no.
No. No.
No, Your Honor. It would not pass our compliance and our internal audit.
That is what we heard a while ago, that they are authorized.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you can withdraw money from your bank through a branch with a withdrawal slip pre-signed
What I meant when I said, yes, Your Honor, yes, I heard it from Ms. De Guito, but no, that is not allowed in our bank procedures.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Senator Recto?
Yeah, just a few questions with Philrem.
Before we go to Philrem, just a few matters. This is addressed to RCBC. Who is Angela Torres?
She is the service customer relations officer that Ms. De Guito brought with her from her prior employment in East West. Senior customer relations officer.
Could
Your
you
Honor.
provide the committee with her her address so that we may serve summons to her?
Yes, sir.
And telephone numbers, please.
Okay, we will find it and provide, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Santos, De Quito, you mentioned an incident on May 2014, a birthday party, I understand.
It was the last quarter of 2014, sir.
Yes. Whose birthday party was that?
If I would remember, it's the birthday of Jason Go.
And who was present?
Mr. Lorenzo Tan was there, Kim Wong was there, some others.
And you were there.
Yes, sir.
What took place? What took place?
I was, Kim Wong and Mr. Tan walked together, and Mr. Tan told me to take care of that guy.
What did you understand by that?
From my perspective, sir, I'm supposed to give him preferential accommodation or treatment.
And you mentioned previously that Mr. Lorenzo Tan picked you to join, asked you to join RCBC.
Yes, sir.
Could you relate the circumstances?
When I resigned from East West Bank sometime in August 2013, I was invited to join RCBC. It was a very casual conversation that I was invited to join RCBC po.
By Mr. Tan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Tan, you care to answer what?
Well, going back to the first birthday party, I don't remember that. I don't think it happened because she just said earlier that I think she knew Mr. Wong more than me. I mean, I met Mr. Wong twice in his restaurant in 2002. I didn't see him for about 12 years. And I only started seeing him recently. So in 14 years, I probably saw him less than 10 times. Why would I tell her, take care of this guy when he was already her client in a previous bank, right? It's inconsistent.
Okay.
And I never invited her to join. Your Honor, I mean, let me state, we have 6,600 employees, 471 branches. In my 18 years in Philippine banking, I never interviewed a branch manager because there are 5 layers below me. The procedure is people refer talent to you, you pass on the resume to the business heads, they're vetted by the business heads, HR. In the case of Ms. De Guito, I think we have email trails where she was interviewed by, I think, 3 or 4 people. And she made commitments, how much business she will bring in. There's a paper trail. But, she's portraying herself as someone special that I brought her in. It doesn't happen,
Okay. Thank you. Next is Senator J.V. Ejercito.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to clarify before we end this session, because I was absent. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yesterday, I left earlier. I'm curious about the day that the funds came in. No? I just want to clarify what actions were taken by the bank, by RCBC, especially that the ambassador of Bangladesh is here. I'd just like to ask Attorney Marcel Fernandez if who are the bank personnel or officers notified of the stop payment requests? Just in case there are stop payment requests, who are the officers that are required?
In case any request for freeze or stop payment request would be received, it's received through our SWIFT messaging, and the settlements department goes through the messages one by one. If their priority is normal, there's no tag what it is. So they go through each message one by one, and it's forwarded to the concerned unit.
And who are authorized to respond to this stop payment request?
Generally, a response is given at the end of day or one day, the next day. It's generally provided in consultation with a number of groups.
Which department in particular?
Includes operations, it includes legal, it includes retail banking.
In this particular case, what time was the head office notified of the stop payment request from the Bank of Bangladesh?
Your Honor, I mentioned earlier with respect to the William Go account where funds were deposited, that there was a stop payment request for freeze that was received at 10:59 in the morning. That was read at 10:59 in the morning by the settlements department.
What day was this?
That would be the first.
What day was this?
February 9, Your Honor.
February 9. So what was the action taken by the head office? Did you notify or send advisory to the branch?
Generally, Your Honor, because I said it's not a freeze order. So a request for freeze is generally sent to the branch for them to have the recipient or the account holder confer with the sender of the funds.
So I would like to ask Ms. Maya De Quito, what was your action when you received the advisory regarding the stop payment request, stop payment or from the main office, from the head office?
I apologize, Your Honor, but that line of question is already part of
But it was already mentioned by Attorney Julia Abad earlier that one of the grounds on why you are charged is because even if there was already a stop payment advisory, you still continued with the transaction. So it was already mentioned earlier by Attorney Abad.
Your Honor, exactly that. It's why it's self-incriminatory.
Okay, just a few more, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to ask, of course, in any investigation, we want the truth to be uncovered. No stones have to be, should be left unturned, no? I'd just like to ask Ms. Maia De Quito, where did you start working in the banking industry again?
Answer the question.
April 2000.
So that's about 16 years already in the banking industry.
Yes, Your Honor.
So again, who were your past employers, past banks?
I worked with iBank, Security Bank, Export Bank, East West, and with RCBC.
So according to news report, RCBC issued a show cause order against you, no, relative to this $81 million transaction. I'd just like to ask, is this the first time that you received a show cause order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you been investigated, or in the past, in your past employment, have you been investigated by any of your past bank employers?
No, Your Honor.
So this is the first time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because there was, I am in receipt of an intel report that while you were in Security Bank, did you remember working with a certain Erica Capili?
Yes, Your Honor.
How was your relationship with her, ma'am?
She was my friend. She's my friend.
But you worked together, and working relationship. She was also, was she also an employee of the bank?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, I think we can, I just like to end this, no, because for the information of the committee, Ms. Erica Capiri was charged with syndicated estafa with the Security Bank, and she's already in jail right now. No, that's why I asked Ms. Tequito if she has something to do with this case. So you have nothing to do with this case.
No, sir. When that happened, I'm already with Export Bank for almost a year.
Okay, just to clarify. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you,
Thank you, Your
Mr. Chair.
Honor.
Mr. Chairman, just one question. One very
Okay,
quick
Senator Recto.
Yes, to Branch Manager Maya. Maya, at any given time, did the president of the bank, Lorenzo Tan, ever tell you to open an account?
That's right. Again.
Your Honor, as per advice of counsel,
I'm not asking about these 4 or 5 accounts.
Okay.
At any given time, did he ever instruct you to open any account for
No,
Kim
Your
Wong
Honor.
or for anyone?
No, Your Honor.
So in fairness to Mr. Tan, he has never done that. Thank you.
Senator Aquino.
Let me ask Attorney Fernandez. You're the counsel of Mr. Kim Wong. Is that right, Attorney Fernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
And today, the name of Kim Wong has been spoken about a lot. And,
Yes, Your Honor.
even more in the executive session. Do you have a statement? Where is your client, first of all?
This morning, Your Honor, at 11:30, I sent a letter to the Chairman Gingona, expressing the reason why Mr. Kim Wong cannot appear today.
For the record, could you state it again? What is the official reason?
The official reason, Your Honor, is he is undergoing medical treatment in Singapore, and he left the country last March 4. Now, in the letter, we expressed his willingness to appear before the committee on March 28 onwards.
So he will be back in the Philippines
He will
March
be back,
28 onwards.
Your Honor, to give his inputs should the same be necessary.
That's very good, Attorney Fernandez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Kim Wong a Filipino citizen?
As far as I know, he's a Filipino citizen, Your Honor.
Okay. Attorney Fernandez, of course you heard what Ms. Digito said, that Mr. Wong was involved in getting these accounts opened. Of course, these accounts are the ones implicated in this scam. So do you have any comment currently for the record regarding that? Just so that while your client isn't here yet, you can speak for the record. No?
She made a single statement with respect to Mr. Kim Wong. And according to her, it was Kim Wong who made a referral to the 4 accounts.
Yes.
Yes. Now, Mr. Kim Wong will address the issue in person when he appears before the committee, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I suggest that we continue our hearing. Well, we will be continuing our hearing, but of course that we will invite Mr. Kim Wong here, no, in our session.
Yes, I'd like to announce that the next hearing is tentatively set on March 29. That's a Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. I understand Mr. Kim Wong will be available, Attorney Fernandez.
He will be available, Your Honor. Of course, it depends on the outcome of the medical treatment. And, well, Your Honor, that's something I cannot predict.
Mr. Chairman, a quick question for AMLC.
Yes, Senator Aquino.
What is the disease, Attorney Fernandez, of Mr. Wong?
I'm not at liberty to
divulge that.
To divulge that.
We can ask him when he gets here.
Yes,
next
Your
week.
Honor. I have to get his permission.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a quick question?
Yes, Senator Aquino.
Attorney Bakay Abad, good evening. Hindi pa po tapos yung investigasyon po ninyo, tama po?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So, to say that, because I think Attorney Topacio has been repeating that it is only his client who has been charged, maybe to correct that assumption, it's only his client who has been charged so far.
So far, yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Do you have a timetable for your investigation and when you will have the complete list of people involved here that you will charge with crimes related to this act?
We are trying our very best, Your Honor, to finish this as early as possible, Your Honor.
Do you have a current timetable for that, Attorney Abad?
Depending on the pieces of evidence that we are able to gather, Your Honor, if there's a need to conduct further investigation, then it might require longer time, Your Honor.
But for the record, no, and just to correct that assumption that there is a singling out of Ms. Digito, in your current investigation, you do see that this could not be perpetrated by just one person, that there had to be multiple parties involved to actually do a heist of this magnitude. And of course, with our due apologies to our friends in Bangladesh, even concerning another country, it's more than just one person, obviously.
That appears to be the case, Your Honor,
All right.
considering the magnitude of
This crime.
this crime.
And
Yes,
this is
Your
a crime, no?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
So, Attorney Abad, just to be clear, you are continuing your investigation and soon, hopefully, maybe before our next hearing, you might be updating who are charged in this particular case.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Senator Coco
May
Pimentel.
knockbacks in the,
Yes, yes.
in the rotation. I have many questions for Mr. William Sogo, actually. But Executive Director Abad, you applied for a freeze order for the accounts of Kam Sin Wong. Can you tell us what goods do you have against Kam Sin Wong? What do you have against this guy?
Based on our initial investigation, Your Honor, it appears that this Mr. Kam Sin Wong received part of this so-called stolen funds, Your Honor. He received it from the account of Eastern Hawaii Leisure and Company, Your Honor.
That is it, after the remittance to Eastern Hawaii. Okay,
Yes, Your
so
Honor.
you have information that an amount went to Mr. Kim Wong. Okay, so that should be good enough to include him. Mr. William Sogo, in the last hearing, your counsel gave me a copy of your affidavit.
Yes, sir.
Paragraph 7, you said that after your meeting with Ms. Santos Digito at Serendra on February 23, and I will quote you, after the meeting, I have neither seen nor met Ms. Santos again. Do you confirm this? You only met with her once?
Twice, in the morning and afternoon.
Oh, so when was this afternoon?
Same day, Your Honor.
Because it's not in your, it's not in your affidavit.
I forget about it.
You forgot about it. Yeah, that's why yung question ko eh.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us what was that meeting?
The second
in the afternoon?
meeting is the afternoon at Makati Rockwell, and I asked her what's going on, what happened to the yung gusto kong mangyari na linisin yung pangalan ko, may naisip na ba paraan kung anong gagawin niya.
So just a few hours
Just
after,
a few
just a
minutes,
few
sir.
hours
No,
after the
only-
first meeting, you requested for a second meeting.
No, morning. We met in the morning.
9 o'clock. Right.
Breakfast. And then, nung after lunch, tumawag siya. Sabi ko, later na lang. Nasa meeting ako. Tapos, I text him. Sabi ko, magkita natin sa Rockwell ng hapon. So, pagkita namin, tinanong ko, ano nangyari? What happened? Anong nangyari sa pinagagawa ko, nalinisin mo na yan.
Saan kayo nagkita sa Rockwell?
Sa may Tajimaya restaurant po. Tapos walang nangyari. So, few minutes, mga 30 minutes, nagmalis na kami. Wala na yan. That's the last one, Your Honor.
Okay, so the affidavit that you gave me is inaccurate to that extent.
Sorry, Your Honor. I forget
Oo nga.
kasi.
That's why I noticed it.
Nag-side that ko, nakalimutan.
Okay, and you signed a waiver na of your accounts,
That's,
so RCBC can freely discuss your accounts, no? you have a peso account opened in July 2014. You also disown that account?
Yes, Your Honor, hindi po akin yan.
Hindi sa'yo yan?
Hindi
ano?
po,
Okay.
hindi po.
Attorney Fernandez, Marcel, no? You can freely discuss the William Sogo disowned accounts. Tama po ba yan?
I can discuss, Your
Yeah,
Honor. Yes.
peso and dollar, right?
Yes.
Yung dollar account opened February 5, but on paper February 1, 2016. So the only activity there would be the dollar deposits from the four.
$66 million.
Yeah,
Your
from the
Honor, yes.
four accounts opened also opened in May 2015. No? Okay, so that would be the only activity. But and then what was your conclusion earlier when you examined the two accounts that these were opened
Simulated
by?
forgery by a different person.
No, what is it that the signatures for the
account
for the
opening
2016 dollar account
And for
are different from the specimen signatures for the July 2014 peso accounts?
Your Honor, the account opening forms for both the July 2014 peso account and the February 2016 dollar account are both simulated forgery when compared with the signatures of Mr. Go in a separate branch account.
Yes, in Trinoma.
Trinoma, yes. Your
in
Honor.
one of his corporate accounts.
Yes.
Okay. But can you tell us now the transaction history of that peso July 2014
Yes.
account? Did it have transactions?
Yes, Your Honor, it did.
Many or just a few?
There were numerous transactions on it, checks deposited for Century Text Trading. And
So it functioned like a normal account
it did.
of the account holder.
Yes, Your Honor, and that was very confusing to us. So when we met with Mr. Go earlier this month and we asked him about the peso account, he said that he had, perhaps, Your Honor, you would want him to explain.
I asked him if he's disowning that peso account. He's disowning
Or
it.
perhaps you could
Mr.
ask...
Mr. William Sogo, this RCBC, anong branch po ulit ito?
Jupiter.
Jupiter branch, peso account opened in July 2014. Is that yours or not?
No, Your Honor, hindi akin ho yun.
Hindi sa'yo yan.
Hindi po
ha?
sa akin.
And it has a 2-year transaction history, just for your information.
Yes, Your
Do you
Honor.
confirm this? It has a 2-year transaction
Your
history? It's not yours.
Hindi po sa akin yun.
Okay, so what's the explanation, ma'am?
I asked him the same question, why were there checks deposited to his peso account in named Century Text Trading checks? And he gave me an answer. If you wish, he could answer, Your Honor.
You tell us first, what answer did he give you?
He told us that he had checks for rediscounting, and he approached his branch manager in East-West Burgos Circle, Mr. Alan Peñalosa, if he could rediscount these post-dated checks. And Mr. Peñalosa said, okay, 5% for him. And Mr. Go answered, but these are Century Text Trading checks. And Mr. Peñalosa said, okay lang, bahala na ako. And we don't know what happened, but the exact process, but what we do know is that the checks of Mr. Go for Century Text Trading began to be deposited in the peso account of Mr. Go in Jupiter, which he claims is forged.
Yeah, and you're convinced that it's not his, right? You are according to your report earlier, you are convinced that this July 14 to 2004 July 2014 peso account in the name of Mr. William Sogo, which functioned like a normal bank account, is not his.
That he did not open, that he did not sign the account opening forms in the peso accounts because the signatures are simulated forgery.
But is it his?
The funds, I believe, were sold by him by way of rediscounting to Mr. Peñalosa. That's how I understood it, Your Honor.
Since Mr. William Sogo has signed a waiver, can you provide this committee now with the transaction details, transaction history of that July 2014 peso account? Can you say that there are more than 100 transactions concerning that account?
Yes, there are numerous transactions. I'm not sure if the waiver allows me to provide a copy, but it does allow me to discuss.
It does. I think it does because you can freely discuss it. Actually, we can through cross-examination or through question and answer, we can actually also derive that report in a TSN form. So you can give that report to this committee. So more than 100 transactions.
Numerous transactions. I didn't count.
And that is not his, according to him. This is your last chance, Mr. William Sogo, to explain. Is that yours?
Hindi
Not
po
yours?
akin account na yan. Hindi po. That's not mine.
Your Honor, how we understood it was the checks were payable to him, but he sold them to by way of rediscounting. The account forms, as much as we know, were not signed by him based on our independent verification. So, Mr. Go would, or maybe Mr. Peñalosa, you could ask him about it.
But how could the branch manager of East West Bank access an RCBC?
Perhaps, Your Honor, you should ask if they are friends.
No, but Mr. Peñalosa, you want to you care to say something about this phenomenon?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Peñalosa. I'm from East West Bank, Burgos Circle Store. No? So, first of all, I would just like to clarify first, no, for what the statement of Mr. Go last hearing, if you may. It is true that I called Mr. Go that Monday night, as per request of Ms. Maya, to meet Tuesday morning, and I called Mr. Go, and he accept the meeting, and Tuesday morning we met at Sherendra in what restaurant? Mary Grace restaurant. So after all this, di bali nag-usap po sila. So to whatever happened is hindi ko na po alam kung ano po yung mga napag-usapan po nila noon after nun. So that's it. And also to clarify, I don't have any offer of 200 million to Mr. Go. And you can ask him po if I had any offer. That's it po.
Wait. There's a question,
How about the
specific question of
rediscounting? How about the
Senator
rediscounting?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Do you have access to a peso account under the name of William Sogo held at the RCBC, ano ba ito? Jupiter branch.
Your Honor, I don't have any access to any account in any other banks po, Your Honor. Because as per policy and as a banker, sir, I don't have any authority to deal directly with other banks.
So, have you rediscounted a check from Mr. William Sogo at any point in time?
Your Honor, for the record, Mr. Go, I was helping Mr. Go, and you can confirm with Mr. Go. He asked for my help, dated back 2014. He asked for my help to have his checks rediscounted. Okay? So, with this, I also have my bank account with RCBC Jupiter. As we all know, Maya is my friend. Nagkasabay po kami sa East West Bank from 2011 to 2013. So, having said that, so, lumapit sa akin si Mr. Go. Sabi ko, sige po, tutulungan po kita. So, yung mga checks na yon, so, binigay ko po, as my banker, binigay ko po yung mga checks na yon for Maya, for her na siya na po yung bahalang kung ano man yung, kung saan niya i-deposito or paano niya i-deposito po. And I believe na si Miss Maya and si Mr. Go yung magkakilala. Opo. So, yun po yun, Your Honor.
So, RCBC, since July 2014, you have been honoring an account with falsified account opening forms, and you never detected it?
Your Honor, we did not know until very recently. We do regular audits. Our internal audit group goes to each branch every 2 years, and even our compliance group does regular audits. But it's physically impossible to get 100% of the accounts. And we pulled out many accounts, but unfortunately, these questioned accounts were not pulled out. Otherwise, we would have detected the forgery.
The peso July 2014 William Sogo account was not used in the money laundering? Was it? I don't think it was used, no? So,
The peso account has-
Miss Maya Digito, are you about to leave?
Yes, for your information, Ms. Maya Digito has asked for a permission to rest for some time. She's going to the clinic, and I allowed her to.
So, I'll just pursue this line of questioning when we resume.
She's not
when
feeling
we
well
resume,
right
okay.
now.
Sige, I'll just pursue this line of questioning when we resume. So,
Mr. Chairman, Senator Rec.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead, Senator Recto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, a few questions. First kay Mr. Go. Mr. Go, kilala ho ninyo si Kim Wong?
Opo, matagal na, pero hindi kami close. Social friend, ganun.
So lahat kayo hindi na close ngayon.
Hindi, hindi
matagal
naman.
na.
We don't see each other for a
Matagal
long
na,
time.
pero hindi close. O sige. Si Jason Go, kakilala mo?
Hindi ko siya kilala.
Hindi mo kilala?
Kilala.
Hindi ka nakabili ng kotse sa
Hindi,
kanya?
hindi, never.
Okay. You are not aware of any of these accounts that you mentioned? That
Wala
I
po,
mentioned here?
wala po ako lang, sir.
Okay. Kilala mo ang PhilRem?
Hindi po, hindi ko kilala.
You've never transacted with
Wala
PhilRem?
po, wala.
Okay. PhilRem, doon sa pangalawang meeting ninyo na wala sa affidavit. Okay? So yung unang meeting niya, siya ang tumawag, si Mr. Alan Peñalosa.
Opo.
Okay. Bakit mo tinanggap yung meeting na yon?
Gusto ko ma-clarify kung nagawa na ng paraan yung hinihingi ko na alisin na yung mga
Hindi, yung unang meeting, ha?
Yung unang meeting, kinausap ako para sabihin sa akin na sorry na nagawa na.
May problema?
May problema.
Okay. Yung pangalawang meeting, sino tumawag?
Siya
Ikaw?
tumawag. Nag-miss
Ulit?
call sa akin.
Hindi, yung una, siya ang tumawag.
Mm.
Okay? Yung pangalawang meeting, yung hapon na wala sa affidavit nyo,
Siya din ako tumawag. Siya nag-miss call muna
sino?
sa akin.
Si Alan?
Hindi, si
Maya na?
Maya Diquito.
Okay. At doon kayo nag-meet sa Rockwell. Wala rin, wala ka namang hinihingi sa kanya.
Wala po. Never. May hiningi ko, sabi ko, clear my name, make sure na it's gone as soon as possible.
Wala ka hiningi kay Kimong na 200 billion?
Wala po. I never do that.
Sige,
Sinabi ko lang sa kanya, malaking perwisyo ginawa niya.
Sige. You've never dealt also with PhilRem?
Never.
Okay.
Wala po.
Sige. Let me move on to representative of PhilRem. Yes, okay. He will.
Senator Enrile.
Permission of the chair, yes. Okay.
Mr. Go.
Yes, sir.
Kanina narinig ko na noong February 5, nitong taon na ito, tumawag ka kay Maya Diquito.
Hindi po.
Sa sinabi niya na magbukas ka daw ng 5 account o 4 na account, peso account dun sa branch niya.
Walang katotohanan yun,
Kaya nagkaroon ng account na may mga zero balance.
Your Honor, kasinuwain na. Walang kinausap.
Hindi mo siya nakakausap.
Hindi
sa
po, Your
telepono. Hindi niya alam ang boses mo sa telepono.
Of course, ewan ko. Hindi kami nag-uusap niyan eh. Hindi po, sir. Hindi kami nag-uusap.
Hindi kayo nag-uusap sa telepono.
Hindi po. Hindi kami nag-uusap, Your Honor.
Salamat.
Mr. Chairman.
Pero
with the
just to continue that point, it was alleged that the alleged account which she denies of William Go was opened with a zero balance account. You're free to discuss that now because there's a waiver.
The dollar account of Mr. Go, Your Honor. I believe it was a linked account.
It was a linked account, yes.
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may finish, because Senator Enrile just took my time as far
Is
as...
this PhilRem?
Yes.
Can I ask a question for Mr. Go before we leave? Just quickly. Alan, yung ginagawa nyo ni Mr. Go with the rediscounted checks, is that in your personal capacity or as East-West Branch Manager?
On my own personal capacity, Your
That's
Honor.
on your personal capacity?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're under oath right now. You're saying that Mr. Go knows about that peso account?
That I don't know, sir.
No, but it's his checks, right? It is
Yes, Your Honor.
It is, what checks are these?
Century Text Trading, Your Honor.
Century Text Trading.
Yes,
So
Your
he
Honor.
does know about this account?
That I don't know, Your Honor.
He requested you to rediscount checks?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to deposit it in that account?
No, Your Honor.
So how did you know about that account?
Sir, I am giving those checks to Miss Maya Diquito, my branch manager, Your Honor.
So Mr. Go asked you to help him with rediscounting checks in your own personal capacity, not as East West branch manager, and you made a deal with Maya Digito to make it work.
Not a deal, Your Honor.
I mean, you talked to her and made it work. You figured it out with her.
Sir, Your Honor, sir, as Miss Maya is my branch manager who's taking care of my account, sir, to whatever checks that I've been giving to her, she's the one who's depositing it, or otherwise, she's be giving me the account number where to deposit, Your Honor.
And under oath, you're saying sa pagkakaalam mo, walang kinalaman si Mr. Go dun sa account na yon in the RCBC Jupiter branch?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
You're under oath, Mr.
Yes,
Peñalosa.
yes, Your Honor.
You're saying under oath, Mr. Go requested you for his checks, which were post-dated checks po ito, kung di ako nagkakamali, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
As a friend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Not officially?
Not officially, Your
Okay,
Honor.
and as a friend, lumapit ka rin kay Ms. Digito, gawa natin to ng paraan. There's nothing illegal about that, right?
Your Honor, wala po kung sinasabing gawan natin po ng paraan, Your Honor.
Okay. So, he gives you the checks, you deposit it in your account, or in his account?
Your Honor, yung cheque po na binibigay sa akin, binibigay ko po kay Miss Maya Digito, Your Honor. Siya po yung nagde-deposito from time to time.
Eh, bakit din lang binigay ni Mr. Go kay Ms. Digito yung mga cheque? Ba't pa dumadaan sa'yo?
Sir, sa akin po nilapit ni Mr. Go yung tulong, Your Honor.
Okay. So, you're saying that for this to work, she needs to deposit that in his account, right? Mr. Go, did you know that Ms. Digito was the recipient of the checks that you were giving Mr. Peñalosa?
I don't know, Your Honor.
But alam mo lang, binibigay mo kay Mr. Peñalosa?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you don't know what he does with these checks?
Wala na po. Basta importante, mag-credit ng East West bank account ko.
So, dumadaan siya through the RCBC Jupiter, bumabalik sa account mo sa East West Bank?
Yung proceed sa discounting po.
And there was a peso account, but you don't know anything about it?
There's nothing to do with that.
And that's also your statement, Mr. Peñalosa?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Senator Recto. Please go
Before we move on to PhilRem, PhilRem, I understand Mr. Antonio Mongcupa wants to say something on behalf of East West Bank, so we'll give him a chance.
Thank
Sir.
you very much, Mr. Chairman. No, I keep hearing East West Bank in the statements made by RCBC. No, just so that the public won't be confused, and just to put some context to all of these things, I'd like to make some clarification. No? They keep attaching the name East West Bank whenever they mention the RCBC employees involved in this issue. Of course, now, just to, at any rate, I'd like to state that first, they have been in RCBC much longer than they have been in East West. And second, based on my initial inquiry, they did not even work with Maya Digito when they were in East West Bank. One of them was even hired after Maya left East West Bank. And the other one was in another branch, not in the branch where Maya Digito was employed at the time. So the thing that they brought along, I understand that RCBC would probably have hired hundreds of many employees. We are a bank with 6,118 employees. It is not unusual that a lot of our employees will be hired by other banks in the same way that we hire employees from other banks. That's pretty normal situation. But, they just keep on mentioning, I think it's important that this be put in this proper context. I'd like to believe that this is not a PR project and there are no malice. But then again, clearly, I'd like to state again that there are no unblameable offense or transactions in East West with regards to this issue, as we have verified. It is likewise unfortunate that we have one of our officers dragged into this case. Again, if you have 6,118 people, it cannot be helped that from time to time, a few of them get dragged into disputes, whether civil or criminal in nature, on their activities outside East West. In those rare cases that those things happen, all we can do in East West is just to wish that truth and justice will always prevail. That's all, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Senator Recto.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, before I ask my question, central to this issue is one, Kim Wong, RCBC, William Go, PhilRem, Century Tex, and a few others. Ha? Para maliwanag, no? Philrem, the $80 million all ended up with your account also in RCBC. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have an account in what, Unimart, RCBC?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And they came from these 4 accounts, or rather from the William Go fictitious account, di ba? Yes. Okay. So, where did the $80 million come from?
I was told it came from William Go's account.
Okay. On your part, don't you have to know also you know your client rule?
We actually rely on the KYC of the banks, Your Honor.
So, wala kayong know your client rule. And in this case, you're saying, tataka lang ako na sabay-sabay dumating eh. People knew that this money was coming in at that particular hour, at that particular time, at that particular date. That's how it appears, no? So you received $80 million, and then you received it from William Go partially. Do you know a certain Vasquez?
No, Your Honor.
But you received $15 million from this account, as testified by AMLA.
Actually, Your Honor, I received an email from my Unimart branch, confirming all deposits coming from William Go's account.
Okay. So you're not saying, yeah.
So, but
may William Go account, 52 million yun. In fact,
no, actually, Your Honor, the email that I got was this is to confirm the following deposits made to your account from William Go Century Tex, and then the amounts.
correct. And the total of which was 52 million dollars.
No, but Your Honor, you know the 15.2 that was said that it came from somebody else's account?
Mhm.
It's also mentioned there in the email that it came from William Go.
Also William Go.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're just, they probably,
So you don't know a Vasquez?
no, Your
Okay.
Honor.
What about an ABA currency? Do you know a corp company? Is this a company? Because you also received 10 million.
Yes, Your Honor. We trade with them.
Yeah, yes. And this was, in fact, one of the last accounts, last dates, February 11 na to. ABA. So you received 13 million from an ABA currency. Do you know the owners of this?
No, Your Honor. I know it also came from William Go's account.
No, it's different. The William Go account is different. ABA directly, you were dealing directly with ABA at $10 million. ABA's money came from William Go.
But I was informed that it came from William Go's
But
account.
you know of an ABA.
Yes, I know of an ABA.
Okay. Have you dealt with them in the past?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who are the owners of this? Shouldn't you know the owner? I mean, you know your client.
I know who they are, Your Honor, but I don't think I'm at liberty to say. I don't want to speak in their behalf.
No, we're asking you.
In open public.
Is there anything wrong for you to disclose the owner of ABA? Because, yeah.
He's just asking if you know the owner.
Yeah.
Yes, we know the owner, but you were asking your owner who they are?
Yeah, remember, yes. I'm
Yes,
asking, is it-
what's wrong with
is there
that? That's
anything
just
wrong?
an identity.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
Sir, this is a... You're asking the owner, Your Honor.
Please respond.
Yeah, they are...
Mr. Chairman, what is ABA? Is it a legal entity?
It appears to be a legal entity.
Is ABA a currency trader, just a remittance company, just like PhilRem?
Involved in a legal business? So what's the problem?
Mr. Peñalosa. Not him. Sorry, I'm sorry lang.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay,
sir.
Mr. Okay. Okay. This 10 million, this 10 million came from the 80 million as well. Okay. What about Beacon?
We also do business with Beacon.
Okay, and on the same date, you received also 3 million from Beacon.
From what we know, Your Honor, it came from William Go's account.
Again, it came from Beacon, but it came from a William Go account that went to ABA, that went to Beacon, and Beacon to you.
We do not know, Your Honor.
Correct. But you did. You're saying that you did receive 3 million from Beacon.
No, I received 3 million from William Go.
Okay. 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 From William Go, which was coursed through ABA and Beacon.
No. What we know is it's from William Go's account.
Okay. Okay. So 13 million. Okay. And then you transacted with RCBC to exchange these dollars to pesos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that
Your Honor,
correct?
may I just clarify?
Yes.
Okay, may I just clarify some facts?
First, how much did you transact with RCBC?
Is it that part of anti-money laundering 9C? Or okay to say? Is it okay to say? 9C. I'm sorry.
I think you should refer that question to your counsel.
Your Honor, can I just read my statement first, just for clarification?
Will your statement answer the question? How much dollars did you transact with the RCBC? What branch of the RCBC did you transact pala to exchange the dollars to pesos? And how much dollars did you exchange? Yes. While you're totaling that, or if you have any assistance with people totaling it, you keep on saying it came from William Go, right? Did you ever talk to William Go? Do you know William Go?
No, Your Honor. The information came from the branch manager of RCBC.
But shouldn't you be talking to William Go himself if he is the sender? He is the sender, right? You keep on saying William Go, but you never spoke to him. Yeah, tapusin ko na to.
Your Honor, we rely on the third-party reliance, AMLA Rule 9A11. Subject to the rules promulgated for the purpose by supervising authorities, where a third party has already conducted the requisite face-to-face contact and the identification requirements on its own customer in accordance with these rules and its own money laundering and terrorist financing prevention program. A covered institution may rely on the representation of the third party that it has already undertaken said face-to-face contact and customer identification requirements. Meaning, we rely on the bank's know your client.
Okay.
Can I read
So
my
how much did you transact with RCBC naman? And who in RCBC did you transact with, and how much dollars did you transact with them?
Roughly a total of $61 million, more or less.
Okay. So 2/3 of the $80 million you transacted with RCBC, roughly. And how much did you get in return for the $61 million?
That is my statement. Can I read now?
So magkano nga? Oh.
Okay. Okay.
2.9 billion?
I would like to correct a misinterpretation of what I said from the last hearing. There are certain transactions that we undertake for which we have a flat fee. This is usually given to the OFWs to ease the remittances. However, when we deal with other financial transactions, we apply a handling fee, and this is variable depending on the type of transaction at hand. For the transaction in question, our handling fee was 1/4 of 1%. Having clarified that, we would like to say this. Trust is an integral part of our business. PhilRem has no interest in profiting from any questionable sources. We accepted this transaction with the understanding from the receiving bank that this was a clean and legitimate transaction. It now seems evident to us that this was not true, and we are deeply regretful for our unintended participation in this shameful chapter in the Philippine history. We will prepare a check as soon as the Bangladeshi delegation confirm to us who the payee will be. That check will represent every centavo our company earned from this series of transactions. I would like to present this to the Bangladeshi delegation, not only as an apology, but as a symbol of a Filipino company willing to help find justice.
So how much is that? How much will you return to the Bangladesh?
0.25%.
So, your statement, dalawa ibig sabihin ha. One, hindi totoo na 500 lang ang kinita ninyo. Hindi 50 pesos per transaction. Hindi 500 lang ang kinita ninyo.
Okay,
At ngayon, magkano ibabalik nyo sa Bangladesh? Sige.
Okay, Your Honor, we computed we will be returning 10,474 pesos 654. 10,474,654 pesos.
Out of the $81 million na dumaan sa inyo, 10 million pesos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sige, thank you.
Sino chinarge sila, Ralph? Kanino nyo chinarge yung 0.25%? Sino nagbayad sa inyo?
Dinidak na po namin yon dun sa proceeds.
dinidak ninyo doon sa binigay?
From the exchange po.
Okay. From the sender or from the recipient? Who did you charge?
It's the conversion kasi where we got the...
So, sa exchange rate conversion. So, kumita rin kayo doon?
Yun na po yun.
Yun na yun.
Yun po yung handling fee.
Okay. So, how much did you again transact with the RCBC?
61. Ano ba?
61 million, di ba? And how much did you get in pesos pala? Yeah.
What is the question, sir?
How much did you get? 2.9 billion? Roughly?
I have to add
of the
because
61
came
million?
Is it from the conversion from RCBC?
Oh, lahat ng dollars na binenta niyo sa RCBC, how much did you get back in pesos? Yeah, okay. Oh, let me move on while they're totaling, ha? Okay. So 61. So may balance in 20, di ba? Okay. Remember I asked you about Where Quick? The last...
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. From the PhilRem, did you give $1.65 million to Where Quick? Kasi hindi lahat pinalitan sa pesos, di ba? May naiwan sa dollar. What happened to the balance, the 20 million? Well, 19 to 20. 81 yan eh. 61.
Your Honor, we delivered cash in pesos and in dollars as well.
Okay. Did Where Quick receive any amount of money?
Your Honor, no, not in
No?
this transaction.
Not 1.65 million?
No, Your Honor.
What about AWAL, 10 million?
No, Your Honor.
No? What about YXR Trading?
No, Your Honor.
No. Okay. So where did the balance, the 20 million, go? Na hindi pinalitan sa RCBC? Where did that go?
It's the cash portion that we delivered to Wei Kang Su.
How much was delivered to Wei Kang Su again?
600 million pesos and $18 million.
To Wei Kang Su? You gave him $18 million and 600 million pesos.
Yes, in the period of February 9 to 13.
In
Sorry,
4 days?
5 to 13.
All in cash.
Yes, Your Honor.
$18 million. Kulang-kulang a billion. And 600 million.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many tranches?
Didn't you also... Do you know of any Phil Golden Realty Development Corporation?
Yes, but it's not a related transaction for this particular.
Not related. But on February 9, you did not give them 36 million pesos.
It's a different transaction, Your
Different
Honor.
transaction. Did you? What about Century Text Trading?
What about Century Text, Your Honor?
Did you transfer to them 655 million?
In the first... can I explain that?
Yes, you can explain, yeah.
In the first day of the transaction, we did deposit pesos in the account of Century Text.
Which is owned by William Go.
Yes, Your Honor.
So before you received anything, you deposited 655 million.
No, Your Honor, that was the first transaction wherein they credited our account in US dollars, and then we traded it to the with Treasury, and then we deposited pesos to the account of Century Text.
And then to wrap it up, you had at least $1 billion in February 10 for Eastern Hawaii Leisure.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Who gave you the instructions to give it to Eastern Hawaii Leisure naman?
The branch manager, Your Honor.
Also. But this is in pesos already.
Yes, we were all taking our transactions, payment order request from the branch manager.
Is there a document that says this?
No, it was done. It was done through a phone call.
Through a phone call, not Kim Wong. the
No,
branch
Your
manager.
Honor.
Do you know Kim Wong?
I met him once or twice before.
Okay,
Yes.
so through a phone call, the branch manager told you to exchange $60 million with RCBC. Is that correct? Is that your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to deliver all these pesos to these different personalities, all in a phone call, and to give $1 billion pesos to Eastern Hawaii Leisure Company.
Yes, Your Honor, as instructed by the manager.
And would you know who the owner of Eastern Hawaii Leisure Company is?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
At that time, Your Honor.
Now, who is the owner now that you know of?
Kim Wong.
Kim Wong. Okay. So central to this, of course, is Kim Wong. Everything went through you, dollars and pesos. RCBC, at ang may kasalanan lahat ito, isang branch manager. Is that what you're saying as well?
We only followed the instructions from the branch
From the
manager,
branch
Your
manager.
Honor.
Okay. No further questions at this point, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Recto. Senator Smenya.
Yes, let me follow up on Senator Rector's line of questioning. Your counsel is here with you. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
Better. Yes, Your Honor.
You are familiar with the law. You are familiar with the Anti-Money Laundering Act.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you know that you are a covered institution.
Yes, Your Honor.
Or a covered person, as we amended it in later law. And Section 9A reads, covered institutions or covered persons shall establish and record the true identity of its clients based on official documents. They shall maintain a system of verifying the true identity of their clients, and in case of corporate clients, require a system of verifying their legal existence and organizational structure, as well as the authority and identification of all persons purporting to act on their behalf. Now, you say you didn't know Mr. William Go.
Yes, Your Honor.
You violated the law.
I actually...
No, you don't depend. It does not say you can depend on another institution's know your customer practice. You are supposed to also know your customer.
No.
We abide and implied the law to the best of our knowledge, Your Honor.
Well, I think your counsel should now teach you how to properly apply the law. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Now, that's a very well known. So here we have a situation wherein a company called Century Tex transacted $81 million of stolen money, and it was transacted through RCBC, through you, without you knowing who owns the account.
I was told by the branch manager that it was owned by William Go.
So if I told you, if I said you $10 million and say it was owned by John D. Rockefeller, you'll believe me. The John D. Rockefeller has been dead for about 50 years already. So you have not followed the law.
We relied on the AMLC Rule 9A11.
And what is the AMC Rule 9811? Because the law is the law, and I don't know what rule AMLC can come up with.
Third-party reliance. Subject to the rules promulgated for the purpose by the supervising authorities, where a third party has already conducted the requisite face-to-face contact and the identification requirements on its own customers in accordance with these rules and its own money laundering and terrorist financing prevention program. A covered institution may rely on the representation of the third party that it has already undertaken said face-to-face contact and customer identification requirements.
Ms. Bakay Abad, would you like to respond to that?
Yes, Your Honor. That provision that was read by Ms. Bautista was taken from Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Circular 706, and that is specifically subsection X 806.1.E.3, and that should be read in conjunction with subsection X 806.2.E.1. If I may read the entire provision, Your Honor.
You have just confused us with all those numbers.
Yeah. This is a BSP circular, Your Honor. Allow me to read the entire provision, Your Honor. Subsection X 806.1.E.3, third-party reliance. Where a third party as defined under subsection X 806.2.E.1 has already conducted the requisite face-to-face contact on its own customer who was referred to a covered institution, the latter may rely on the representation of the third party that it has already conducted face-to-face contact, provided that the pertinent requirements in subsection X 806.2.E.1 are also met, and that subsection X 806.2.E.1 provides, Your Honor, if I may.
After you're through with that, you can translate that into English.
Here are the requirements under subsection X 806.2.E.1, Your Honor. Where the customer transacts through a trustee, nominee, agent, or intermediary, which is a third party as defined in the circular. A covered institution may rely on the customer identification process undertaken by a third party. For purposes of this subsection, the third party shall refer to 1. A covered institution as herein specifically defined and as generally defined by the AMLA as amended and its revised implementing rules and regulations, or 2nd, a financial institution operating outside the Philippines that is covered by equivalent customer identification requirements. A BSP accredited custodian may likewise rely in accordance with these rules on the face-to-face contact and gathering of minimum information to establish the existence and full identity of the customer conducted by the seller or issuer of securities or by the global custodian, provided the latter has an equivalent customer identification requirements. At any rate, Your Honor, even if a covered institution is allowed to rely on a third party, as far as customer identification process is concerned, the ultimate responsibility of knowing its customer still lies on the covered institution relying on a third party. So in this case, Your Honor, just to make it simple, even if PhilRem relied on the KYC process that was conducted by RCBC, PhilRem still has an obligation, an ultimate responsibility to know its customer.
That clear?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much for enlightening us. We are sorry that we were not able to do exactly what was.
No, because here you can see what happened, Miss Abad, no? That was a weak link. If you're going to have reliance on a third party and that third party is already the one in question, then parang domino effect na yan. Pwede magturuan ngayon. So, the way that sounds, I'd like to have a copy. The committee would like to have copies, but we'd like you to re-examine that and tighten that up. That's a weak link.
Yes, Your Honor. Again, as I mentioned, this circular was issued by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Your Honor.
So that's a Bangko Sentral circular. Is that an AMLA circular? Yes, Governor.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there is an implementing circular, that's Circular 706. Subsequently...
This is a BSP circular.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
But the BSP is entitled and allowed or directed to issue the implementing rules and regulations for the Anti-Money Laundering Act?
For its supervised institutions, Mr. Chairman. But however, may I add that...
Are money remitters or money changers supervised institutions of the BSP?
They are registered with the BSP, Mr. Chairman.
Are they supervised institutions?
Not in the sense of banks, Mr. Chairman. They basically register with
Who
the...
supervises remittance companies, actually? No one?
Right now, Mr. Chairman, the only requisite is that they register with the BSP for purposes of AML compliance.
Well, as you can see, they don't comply anyway.
It's now clear, Mr. Chairman, that may I add that for the third-party reliance, based on the BSP regulations, there are certain requisites for third-party reliance to hold. First of all, in this instance, PhilRem can rely provided that it has secured a sworn certification containing certain elements. The certification should state that in this case, the bank has conducted the required KYC and face-to-face on the customer, Mr. Chairman. That also the certification should say that RCBC, in this case, has in its custody all the minimum information of the customer, and that the remittance company here, PhilRem, has the ability to obtain identification documents from RCBC without delay. This would be the requisites in this particular situation for third-party reliance to hold, Mr. Chairman.
Now, in this particular case, let's say, for example, that just for the sake of argument, that Ms. Digito were a rogue official of RCBC, and the whole thing collapses like a house of cards because you're depending on one officer who can lie to her superiors and who can lie to whoever she does a transaction with. Now, what's your backup in a case like that?
So, Mr. Chairman, for the third-party reliance, so they may rely based on those requisites, but as pointed out earlier by the AMLAC Executive Director, the ultimate responsibility for customer due diligence lies with the remittance agent, Mr.
So you can sue now PhilRem for violating the law?
Based on what we've heard today, Mr. Chairman, there may be basis to cite them for violating regulations.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Bamakino.
Yes. I beg your indulgence, Mr. Chairman. I have questions for PhilRem. So, all the money that we're talking about went to PhilRem. Is that right? It eventually ended up in your hands.
Yes, Your Honor.
And this was because of... Why do you think? Why did all of the money end up with PhilRem? They could have... If you were perpetrating a crime, you would tend to distribute all of this money to multiple groups so that you will have less, less liability probably. But everything ended up with you. And this is because of your friendship with the branch manager, with Digito?
In all honesty, Your Honor, I really don't know. And I actually wish that that day never happened.
Who called you? It wasn't Mr. Go, no? Who
No,
called you?
it was the branch manager.
Maya.
Yes.
Maya Digito. Do you
Yes.
usually transact with Maya Digito?
Yes, Your
And she
Honor.
usually transacts with you to change dollars into pesos.
Yes, remit.
To remit.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Previous to this $81 million coming from, in your words, from Mr. Go, or at least in your transactions,
Yes, Your Honor.
are these amounts normal for PhilRem? Do you usually transact at this level of money? Because $81 million is roughly 3.2 billion pesos, no? Do you usually transact at that level? 4 billion. Sorry, my mathematics is a little off. 4 billion, Senator Recto said.
Your Honor, this happened in a period of 1 week.
Yes,
So
but
many days,
as you
but
said, in your books, it all came from one person, William Go, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So my first question, is it normal for an individual to transact in these amounts? And secondly, what is the average size of the transactions that you've done with Ms. Digito? Will it reach $10 million or $5 million?
Your Honor, there has been other transactions.
Of this size?
Yes, a little less.
A little less. So you're saying that in your books, you've had transactions of $20 million, $15 million, $5 million.
Yes, Your Honor.
And from Ms. Digito also? From that branch in RCBC Jupiter?
No, it's...
What was the previous largest amount, previous to this William... I'm sorry, sir, I'm just using your name because that's what they said. Previous to these transactions that were alleged to be in your name, what was the largest amount that Ms. Digito transacted with you? You can give a ballpark.
$6. 6 million.
Sorry, please clarify that.
6 million.
$million. Okay, so previous to this transaction, she had a transaction of $6 million with you. The day that she said that you would have these transactions, I'm guessing you saw it as par for the course. Normal lang sa inyo?
Yes, normal lang po.
Okay, so never at any point until this came about that you thought that there was any
Hindi po.
issue?
No.
Even at that amount of $81 million?
Wala po, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Is it right that when there is remittance that happens, you have to match that transaction with cash? May kabangga yung transaction na yun. Is that right?
What do you mean, Your Honor?
So do you have to have this level of cash to be able to transact for this transaction? No. So you're just a reseller,
Your
no?
Honor, yeah. No,
Okay, so
Your
you just
Honor.
play the market.
Yes.
You don't have to have enough cash.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. When the cash was finally distributed in Unimart, that's 600 million pesos, $18 million. When you made that request,
No, Your Honor, the cash portion of the dollars
Yes.
and the pesos
Yes.
was not in one-time transaction. It was also distributed within that week.
okay, can you tell me more about that? That came from which bank? Was that your money? You had to get the cash, no? I can only imagine 600 million pesos would probably, I don't know, maybe fill up the center part of our hall. $18 million. Where would you get that much cash? Where did they get the cash?
Sorry, Your Honor. The question was...
Where did
will-
you get the cash?
From different banks. Different banks and...
Wasn't it just one bank or one branch? It was multiple branches or banks.
Multiple banks. No, just to source the cash.
Okay, could you
Just the cash. Just to source the
could
cash.
you guide us to that, no? So you're saying that branch manager Digito instructed you, itong porsyento goes to this account, itong porsyento goes to this account, and this bulk, you make it cash and you deliver it to this person. That instruction, who did that instruction come from?
From the branch manager. But just to clarify, it wasn't this portion, the whole amount will be for this one, this 30 million will be for this, 26 will be for, no. It was, every tranche that we would make, there would always be a specific payment order.
Okay, could you guide us through that, please, no? So, one tranche would enter PhilRem, and then as soon as that tranche would go in, there was already an immediate instruction where it will go. Is that right?
Yes, more or less.
Okay, so for example, for one transaction, I think there were transactions $10 million or $6 million. The instruction, you're saying it came from branch manager Digito.
Yes.
Part of it you deposit in this account, part of it you make it into cash.
Yes,
Is that
Your-
right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And this happened over 5 days, if I'm not mistaken.
From February 5 till February 13.
Okay, so it happened over 8 days. And during those 8 days, all of the cash transactions were going to just one person. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you would source that cash amounting to 600 million pesos and $18 million from multiple banks or multiple branches?
No, it's multiple banks and multiple, multiple money changers as well.
And was this your choice already, or was this instructed also by branch manager Digito?
No, this was our choice because the instruction was to deliver and we would have to source the cash for the transaction.
Okay. To your knowledge, what was this cash for? Because that's part of your responsibility, right? To have the KYC, the reason. To your knowledge, what was this cash for?
We were told that this will form part of the casino players, for the casino players.
Okay. So to your knowledge, you were providing cash to a big-time casino player?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And all of these transactions, you earned 10 million pesos, which you're now returning to the Bangladeshi delegation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there any cash left with PhilRem?
No, Your Honor.
Zero yan.
Zero.
And you can account for where all of these monies went?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Salamat.
Mr. Chairman,
Senator Coco.
can I just react to the dramatic offer of PhilRem to return all of its income from the transactions to our Bangladesh friends? PhilRem made some admissions which could make it liable under Section 4 of the Anti-Money Laundering Law, maybe under Paragraph B, converts, and Paragraph F, fails to perform or performs any act facilitating the offense of money laundering. So my question actually is to the AMLAC. Let us say they really make good on their dramatic promise or pledge to return all of their income, and you have not yet charged them, and that's why we're wondering what is taking you too long. They may have incipient criminal liability. Once they return all of the money that they made, would this now solve the problem for them? Will they have no more legal action or possible case for money laundering to face?
I can't answer that categorically, Your Honor, but in other cases, an offer to return or to compensate the victim will not erase criminal liability of a person. So even if the money that was earned from the criminal offense is returned to the victim, that does not automatically erase his or her liability, Your Honor, criminal liability.
The big question is kung hindi pumutok, isasauli ba? Yun eh. Isusuli dahil pumutok. Pag hindi pumutok, susuli ba? So, I think that you should maintain that attitude and maybe in the next hearing, if you still have not enlarged the number of respondents in your cases, please explain to the committee why. Why PhilRem is not yet included, and some other personalities, Mr. William Sogo, maybe some insiders in RCBC, why they have not yet been included. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You wish to say something, Ms. Bautista?
No, Your Honor, I would just like to clarify. The only reason why we want to return the earnings that we made out of this transaction is because we do not have an interest in profiting from any questionable sources. We had no knowledge of this, Your Honor.
Don't look at me, look at them.
I'm really sorry, sir, for all the losses, you know.
Okay, finally. I'd just like to announce that all those who are here, please consider yourselves required to attend in the next hearing. The next hearing, again, is March 29, 2016. However, we will have it at 11 a.m. so to avoid things like this. And yes, lunch will be served. So, 11 o'clock, March 29, 2016. Hearing suspended.